And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined all the way from Boston, MD online editor Ron Harris.
Yay.
Oh, hang on, Matt. You got to do that again. You can't start episode 18, 2 episodes away from 100 with a yay.
Wow. Wow, you've done 98 episodes of these?
98 episodes, mate.
Where does the time go, Giles? Where does it go?
I know.
Jeez, I remember the very first 1, 2, 3 episodes. Seems like it wasn't that long ago.
I know. I started that back when we were both young and gorgeous.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're still gorgeous. But I think I could say young. Yeah.
So,
New York Pro.
Yes. So you literally must have just got home because this is being recorded on the Sunday at like 1 o'clock for you. So you must have just got home.
Yeah, usually I'm a little more well-rested and chipper and all that. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep this weekend, but it was a really good show, You know, it was good there were no masks for the most part.
Good.
It's Florida. They can't enforce the mask ruling down there. So people were wearing them if they wanted to, but for the most part, people walking around all over, no mask, just like, before this COVID nightmare. So it was good to kind of pretend things were back to normal, even if they're not quite there yet.
Yeah, thank God for Florida, eh?
Yeah. I'll be back there for the Tampa Pro in a couple months. So
how did it compare in terms of kind of excitement and stuff to the Indy?
Oh, much more exciting. And, that's not a knock against Dave Bauer's production of the Indy Pro, but that only had 2 divisions, and it's a newer show. This is the New York Pro has got I think it started off in like 1978 as Night of Champions. It's got a very long history.
Yep.
Loyal fan base. A lot of people came down from the New York area to attend this down in Florida. I saw a lot of people I know are from that New York, New Jersey area. It's just it's a show that's so well established, and it has that reputation as the 3rd most prestigious show after the Olympia and the Arnold. It's a title. A lot of these guys, you get a nice diamond ring when you win. I mean, it's a really nice show. So yeah, high energy crowd. Geez, when Nick Walker came out, I know I'm going to myself, but my eardrums were bleeding. That's what the crowd response was like. So you don't see that at every show. Indy, the crowd was definitely appreciative in Indy, but for some reason, the New York Pro consistently all these years, that's a really wild and crazy audience.
See, isn't that weird that because the New York Pro, they always say the crowds are crazy because it's from New York, but this is the New York Pro in Florida, but you're still saying that the crowd still had that energy. So it is to do with the show, not the location then? Maybe
so, but to be fair, as a lot of Americans know, there aren't that many native Floridians. A lot of people from Florida are from further up north.
Yeah.
They escaped the cold. There's a lot of New Yorkers, people from Massachusetts, New Jersey, Connecticut. But I think it is the show itself. I think it's just, it has that energy around it because it is the New York Pro. It's been around so long, and everyone's won that show. Ronnie, Flex Wheeler, Nasser, anybody who's anybody. Phil Heath, Dexter Jackson, Jay Cutler, everybody has won that show.
Okay, let's do some New York Pro trivia. Who won the first New York Pro and what year? Tell me. I know what it is.
Okay, the first New York Pro or Night of Champions? That's a trick question.
I said New York Pro, and I mean New York Pro, not Night of Champions.
So I'm going to say 2003 Victor Martinez.
Incorrect.
That's a good guess.
Guess again.
Melvin Anthony.
Incorrect.
Is 2003 the right year?
No, 2005 was the first New York Pro.
Okay, if it was 2005, it wasn't Phil Heath.
Nope.
I'll go with Darren Charles.
Yes, yeah. Okay. I said that to Steve Weinberger on the hype show that I have, and he was like, "Wow, you know your history." And I thought, I really want to go through all the years now. 2006.
Phil Heath.
2007.
Branch Warren.
Yes, I'm struggling with 2008. Come on.
Was that Melvin Anthony?
No, 2004 was Melvin Anthony. 2003 was Victor Martinez.
2008, Dennis Wolf.
Dennis Wolf. Did he win in 2008? No, I don't know. He got 3rd in 2006.
Dexter didn't win it till later. Okay, 2008, I'll go with Kai Green.
Kai Green? No, he won it in 2011. That was when he was prepping with George Farah, and he just took 8th at Olympia the year before. And he stopped working with Oscar Arden, and he started working with George Farah.
Victor had to have won it. I know Victor won that show at one point or another.
Victor won it. I can't remember. Was it 2000? No. Oh, well. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about
2021.
Yeah, let's talk about 2021 New York Pro. Now, I watched the live stream. Also, I thought the live stream was absolutely fantastic. It worked. I actually watched it on this screen that I'm looking at you now. Wow. Because, stupid me, it's actually connected to this laptop, and I never actually realized that I could put it on when we're not filming. So we sat in here and had some nice glass of wine. I was on the MD forum, and it was really good. We had the curtains round like we do for this studio, and I tell you what, mate, what a show! I thought it was just it was lower numbers in some of the classes.
Yeah.
But like I was a little bit disappointed because I mean the New York Pro and the Night of Champions, there was always like 30, 40 guys in the Open. But why was there so few guys in the Open?
I'm not sure timing wise why it must not have been convenient, or I honestly I would have to talk to some people and wonder why. Maybe they're waiting because the Olympia is in October and a lot of them are hitting later shows, so they don't want to peak now and then have to try to peak again for the Olympia. I honestly don't know, but yeah, Men's Open didn't have huge numbers. Women's bodybuilding only had 5. I think women's physique had 6. There were, and what was it, wellness? There were a couple classes, yeah. Some of the classes were small, but like men's physique had about 30 guys in it.
Yeah.
Bikini had over 20. Some of the divisions were still, yeah, figure I was a little surprised. Figure had 9 or 10, which that's unheard of at any pro show. I can't remember the last pro show I've been to that didn't have at least 20 in figure.
I thought the girl that won the bikini was a very different look for bikini because she beat Ashley and she was very muscular, I thought. I forget her name now. What was her name?
Yeah, let's see. There's 10 pages of scorecards here. Classic. Men's 212. Yeah, they did 10 divisions. And there would have been 11, but they didn't have women's fitness.
Yes.
Figure.
That was the only one they were missing.
So, Romina Basualdo won.
Romina, yeah, what a different look for bikini. That I like seeing that because I've been whinging about the skinny bikini girls for years. I go and watch anything about bikini that I talk about, and like I was really happy to see that more muscular look. So I think, didn't turn his phone off.
Sorry, man.
It's all right.
Hector.
It's all right. Oh, Hector. Okay. Still videos.
But, in bikini, so she beat Ashley, which was a huge surprise.
Yes.
But then the big surprise was Gabrielle Macias. I'd never seen her before from New York. Third place girl. A lot of people thought she was in the running for the win. Gorgeous girl. Yeah. She could have won. I don't think many people really would have complained had she won.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk, because I really want to, what we'll do is for all the female categories, that'll be covered in the Buff Bombshell show.
Okay.
Because they're going to go right through the live stream footage and, and I know you were there and you watched it, but that's their territory. So let's talk about the classic class. I think we were absolutely bang on with our predictions there with Danny Younan, correct?
Yeah. I mean, just because there was nobody in there that had done anything at the Olympia level before, and Danny has been top 6 twice.
Yeah.
So that tells them, because Classic is a very, very competitive division, as you know. Every year since it started, it's been getting tougher and tougher. So much new talent is infused every year into Classic. So when I saw Danny's name, I said, it's got to be Danny. Unless somebody, which happens, sometimes someone I'm not familiar with just blows people away, like that guy that kind of looks like Kai Green, the Lord Jones.
Oh, yeah. I was
Brian
surprised.
Jones.
Yeah, Brian Jones.
Yeah. That's somebody last year that came out of nowhere, but there was nobody really like that. Although the runner-up guy, I think when he puts a little more size on, Zeke Andrews, he's very good. He just needs probably another 5 to 8 pounds, a little fullness. That's where Danny really had him, because Zeke has a pretty damn good physique himself.
You said in last week, you said at the Indy that the way the judging was going, it was more complete, more balanced, like kind of like bodybuilders without freaky body parts or freaky conditioning, or it was kind of like the overall picture. And I thought Zeke kind of fit that as well, because he was, nothing really jumped out, but overall he kind of deserved to be in the mix, didn't he? Yeah.
I mean, his conditioning was bang on. He was very well balanced. No, I didn't see any weak points on him. The only knock critique I should say I have on him is a little bigger, a little fuller, and then I think we're going to start hearing he'll start doing bigger things in Classic for sure.
Was there a bit argy-bargy with Thingy when the readable bicep? He was getting a bit pissed off. He was.
Yeah, that always happens because. Geez, it happened in the Open a few times where it's always the rear double bicep shot or the front.
Always.
Double. Blessing at one point I can't remember who it was, but Blessing was in between two guys, and they weren't spaced out enough apart. And like, you know, part of his arms were covered by the other guys, and he was trying to like sort of gently shove them out of his way, but they needed to move physically to the side.
Yeah.
Jockeying for position. Yeah.
So I thought Danny was a clear winner. I think to be honest, I saw that picture on his Instagram a few days out, and I messaged him because I got him coming on next week's for Global, and it was just an upper body shot, and I was just like, if that's not Photoshop, that's a winner. That he looks absolutely phenomenal there. I just think no one's beating that. And I mean, he took 2 sixth places at the Olympia. For me, he's perfect classic. Really, I thought he looked great. I thought he looked great. I
did an interview with him, and you know, it come to find out they did a shortened version on stage after he won, which gave me the impetus to ask the right questions later on. And he had COVID. His whole family had COVID. They were in and out of the hospital. He was caring for them, taking them back and forth to the emergency room, and he had it for about 8 weeks, where he could only eat. He didn't train for about 8 weeks at all, and I think about 6 weeks out of that time, he was only eating once a day. He got smaller, softer, and he should have been in prep for New York Pro earlier on. I think he did a speedy prep, which usually doesn't end well, right? But he pulled it together. I would never have known all this had he not talked about it.
Hang on, sorry. How long did he prep for then after he got over the COVID?
I believe it was something like 8 weeks.
Shit. He peaked perfectly, didn't he? He looked really good.
And 8 weeks where he was putting muscle back, regaining muscle, and trying to get leaner at the same time. Although, probably if he's eating once a day, I bet he got pretty lean, wouldn't you think?
I think I'd starve to death.
Not the right kind of lean. But very clear winner, beautiful physique. He has some poses that are very, you know, he does that, John Jewett does it too, these like, almost like karate stances, and then he does a front double bicep with one hand up, Danny. He's got some very unique signature poses. I'm a big fan of Danny's physique. Actually,
I saw a few. It was a bit of a duplication of a Lee Labrada routine, wasn't it?
Yeah. We had some pretty decent posers. You know, you and I are both sticklers for that. I can't stand when they just come out and wing it and hit the same 4 shots. And there was plenty of that too. Don't get me wrong. But there were certainly some people who put the time and effort into their posing, and I always appreciate that because it's a show. You're putting on a show for these people that paid very, very big money for some of these seats, the VIP area. So Well, next up,
talking about good posing, I want to commend John Jewett for his posing routine, the Mortal Kombat routine in the 212. That was the one that I'll remember.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. He did a lot of lunging poses. He did a lot of
amazing,
almost like martial arts kata things. It was pretty cool. Yeah, and I was good. I don't know if are we getting into 212 now? We're going to talk about
Let's do 212 now. Yeah, let's do 212.
Yeah. Very much improved because he was pretty flat in Indy. When he first came out, I had him for the win in Indy, but then as they were comparing him and shuffling people around, I saw, I get it. I see why they're not. It was very clear after the first call out that Jewett probably wasn't a clear-cut winner the way I had thought he was. But at this, I thought he was definitely in the running for the win this time. You know, but once this new guy Nathan Epler.
Yeah.
Wow. The conditioning he showed last week in Indy pretty much duplicated it. And if you guys see the pictures from both shows and you're wondering why people looked a little softer in New York, it was a totally different lighting situation. Because trust me, the people, they look pretty much the same. It was only a week apart. But Nathan, he's going to be very, very good. And he's tall. He's probably at least 5'7", which for a 212, that's a giant.
He looked very tall in the lineup. So, but the thing is, how close is he to 212?
I didn't ask. He's got to be right there. He's got to be right there. Very small joints on him, though. He's got a tiny waist, little wrist. You can see he carries the weight well.
Yeah.
I don't know how much further. I don't know if I even asked him. I did one interview with him the night before the show. But very, very different type of physique. We're used to seeing, you know, for so long, to me, the prototypical 212 physique was like the Jose Raymond, the David Henry, the real shorter and just thick, dense, packed muscle, which Noel Adame was the poster boy at this show.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but very, very different physique from, you look at a Nathan and a John Jewett, and then you look at a Noel, wow, these guys are in the same division because they're completely different physiques.
I mean, going on to, you've mentioned Noel Adam there. For me, I know his structure is not, but to be honest, the the freakiness, the quads. I mean, and he looked even better than he did at the Indy Pro. For me, I couldn't take my eyes off him. The side tricep, the side chest, that most muscular, the striations in his lower chest when there was so much going on. I just thought, shit, could this guy win it? I was between that three. I couldn't, I'm really starting to analyze Nathan's physique because he's very, very complete. He's very pleasing, very top to toe conditioning. But the thing is, he's tall though, isn't he? So how much can he really do with his physique as a 212? Can he just keep duplicating?
It really depends on how close he is to the limit. And I don't know that off the top of my head, but if he still has, let's say he has 8 or 10 pounds to go, that he's that far under 212, he could be very good. If he's at the limit now, I think he's going to have a tougher time when he's up against, the Olympia. The guys who are top 5, top 6 the Olympia. They're just thicker guys. So it'd be interesting. He might end up moving. I suspect in time he'll move to open. He's a young guy. He's 27 years old.
Because how many guys? Oh, he's 27. Is that all he is?
27. He might even be 26.
See, he's kind of like you reminds me a little bit Zane Watson, where 5'7", you're really there, aren't you? If you're at the maximum, I mean, really, 212 is really for guys like 5'5" and under, really, isn't it? But unless you're like Zane Watson's done very well. He's won multiple 212 shows. He's placed top 10 at Olympia, and so I don't know.
It's rare. Mark Dugdale was the same situation, but most of them, as you say, 5'3" to 5'5". That's the typical height for a successful 212 pro.
Yeah. So John Jewett, I mean, we actually interviewed him for this episode. He said he was 2 pounds heavier than he was at Indy. He said he was 207, but he said at the Olympia in 2019 he was 211 point something. So he's actually come down this year to really nail the conditioning. But if he could try and, I think if he's got that 5 pounds to play with and he can get that fullness back up his upper body, I really hope he makes it to the Olympia, and I really hope he makes it to the close to the 212 limit because he's already proven he's a top 5 Olympia guy.
Yeah, I mean he just took third last weekend. He just took third again here.
Second.
So he probably just needs another.
Second.
I'm sorry. What do you do? Second.
Yeah.
So he might even have enough points now, or maybe he just needs to do one more show. He can definitely get to Olympia on points. They all want to win a show, of course. You want to go into most of the pros do want to go to the Olympia on a win, not by points. But I think John's got to be pretty close. New York, because it goes by the caliber of the show. Yeah. And I think New York Pro is one of the higher tier shows. It gives more points. Well,
I'm going to put the John Jewett interview right after this one. I know we did discuss that, so I won't reveal what he said about his plans for the rest of the year. But you can watch that and you can have a see. So.
And Derek Oslin, Weapon X.
Yes, 7 pounds he dropped.
Yeah, I usually don't see that in 1 week.
Yeah.
If people drop 7 pounds in a week, they just usually get flatter. It's not a good transformation. But he tightened up significantly. Tan looked better. A lot of people fix their tans because it's a key issue that a lot of fans I don't think get just how critical the color is.
Yeah.
Going back to the classic. The guy that I thought was going to be second place at Dimitri from Russia, because I'm a big fan of that guy's physique.
He was like 10th.
He looked like, I mean, it was 10th. He barely had any color on.
Oh.
He probably needed to be another 5 to 8 pounds leaner.
Yeah.
But man, he would have been right there. But Weapon X, he leveled up from last week. He redeemed himself.
He did. I was impressed. He was a solid top 4 as well. I mean, there's a guy who's come 8th at the Olympia last year. So he, if you don't make the top 10 at the Olympia, look like you don't fluke it, Right. But, and I would love, do you know what? I'm going to say this openly to Samir Trudy. Go to Chris Aceto or Patrick Tua and please get a coach, because it's heartbreaking to see this guy's potential being wasted after his third place at the 2018 Arnold behind Kamal and Charles Dixon. This is heartbreaking to see a guy coming so off. And the thing is, he's traveling from Dubai and he's coming in off, and not just off, but really off. I mean, wouldn't you just kill to have a physique like that? I mean, I would just get it so ridiculously shredded, because when you're that good, I mean, he could be winning shows like this for fun.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, it's a rare quality to have that structure, that shape, really round, full muscle bellies the way he does.
Yeah.
When I see someone like that show up off, and I know he was struggling to figure out why, because he coached himself for these shows.
It's not working.
He said his body just stopped responding, and he didn't know what was going on. I felt terrible for the guy because, yeah, he should be winning shows. That's a hell of a physique. So when you see that so off, it's frustrating as a fan.
Chris Aceto or Patrick Tur, Samir, DM them today.
There you go. And Justin Randall in 5th. Justin Randall from right around my area.
Yeah, good legs.
Works in Massachusetts, lives in big, he's a little mass monster. I think he's about 5 foot or 5'1", but man, packed with muscle. I probably need to get an interview with him soon because I hear he's wrapping it up, and he's only.
Oh, really?
I don't even know if he's 30 years old. He can't be much older than 30.
He's 30 years old.
He can't be much older than that.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I remember when I met him not that many years ago when Jose Raymond was coaching him for like a local. He did the New England local show here. He was only I know he was only in his mid-20s at that point. So I'd be surprised if he's 30, 31, somewhere around there.
Top 5 at New York Pro, and he's not even 30. Wow, and he's wrapping it in. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, well, I'll find out why. Don't worry.
Fair enough. Okay, so let's talk about the Open. In fact, first of all, while we're on the subject of tanning, I had a bit of a interaction with Mohamed El Imam because after the judging, I knew he was out. I interviewed him last episode, and I knew he was out there by himself. And I messaged him, and when I saw the pictures, I looked at his quads. They were dry, but everything else looked washed out and flat because his tan and color was terrible, which was perfect. It was perfect at the Indy Pro. So I messaged him, and I said, mate, get some tan and oil on for the night show. I says, you can pull this out the bag. And he said, oh, yes. He said, the girl says, you're good to go. And I says, no. I put it in capitals. Insist! ! I said, you've got it. So he did. He was messaging me back and forth, and he went back and he said, please, you have to. And then if you look at the score sheets, he was in fifth place at the pre-judging, and Dorian was in 4th. But if you look at the point scoring, they swapped the night show, but obviously Dorian probably just pulled ahead slightly. So really, there's an argument that could have cost him a placing, his tan at the pre-judging. I mean, he could. It was a toss-up between them, but that basically lost him the potential of really winning 4th place there.
Yeah, I don't know how much detail he went into, but he was actually talking to me because he was so frustrated. Yeah. Before the finals, he was so frustrated about what had gone on during the judging. Yeah. Because he says he knows his physique well. He says, the last area to get really dry on me is my glutes and my hams right here, and they were there. So I didn't understand why my upper body looked so washed out and blurry. It did, yeah. And it was the tan. But he sorted it out for the finals and looked completely different. It looked like he tightened up significantly, and I bet he looked exactly the same at both. It was just a matter of the color. We have gone through the live stream footage. It'll be at the end of this episode. I do think he was a couple of, say, 2 or 3%, like Justin, 2 or 3% better last week. It's a tiny, only to I'm really analyzing this. I'm really nitpicking. I definitely think he was better last week in Indy because he pushed the hell out of Justin, and I was so impressed with him. I wouldn't have argued if they had given him the show last weekend. Although Justin's got an incredible physique, but man, he's got so much muscle. He's on the way up. He's much more confident now. You talked to him, but I'm glad because like I said, you knew who he was leading into this because you saw him in Romania. Yeah. And you're aware of a lot of these European people that compete and live in Europe that I'm not. And it's amazing to me that I never heard of this guy really until last weekend, and now I'm very much aware of Mohamed El Imam.
He's a good dude, isn't he? I like him. Good. He's a character.
He is. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, and he's prepped by Oxygen Amadaska, who preps. Is it Amadash Kanani and Nathan Diasha?
Yeah.
I think he's really good, and it's so weird because he's 5'7" and 225, and he looks 5'10" and 250, 260.
Yeah, because remember where I was saying I thought he was taller? Yeah. And so I made a point when we were talking in the lobby. I'm looking and I'm like, we're right eye to eye, and I'm shrunk down to 5'7.5" now in my old age. Like Giles was right. I don't know why I thought he was on stage. Maybe it's because he's so big.
He's wide.
I assumed he was tall. Same thing with Justin. Justin's not that much. Justin's maybe 5'8.5", 5'9" at the most. Yeah.
Really?
If he's that tall, I might be wrong.
Let's talk about Justin because I think for me he looked better at the night show at the Indy by a good 5 to 8%. I think he definitely, if you look at, he looked basically like he dropped a few pounds to maybe get a little bit extra condition. I don't think his condition got better, but he looked more like there was kind of more lines going on in the front double bicep. But for me, he definitely peaked last week, like perfectly, where he got the win. I mean, if you look at the night show pictures at Indy, it was better than what he brought to the New York Pro.
And, you know, honestly, I don't think it would have mattered. And that's no disrespect to Justin. Nick Walker was just so dominant. We need to mention Hassan, too, at some point.
We'll come to Hassan, yeah.
But Nick Walker was so dominant, so much muscle.
Oh, wow.
He reminds me a lot of, so many. I see shades of Cutler in him. I see the muscle density of like a Branch Warren.
Yeah.
He's going to go places, this kid. He's 26 years old.
He's 26.
26 years old. Yeah.
Holy
I think he turns 27 in August. He's going to be old then, but for now he's still a young man. But it was his show. Everybody, you didn't hear people arguing about, what do you think? Everybody was for Nick.
Clear.
Everybody.
I mean, as soon as he came out at the 60 seconds, when they first brought them out, as soon as he hit that frontal bicep, and he just looked so confident, so composed, so relaxed. He was so calm. And it was like he just went, he won the show as soon as he hit that frontal bicep.
Yeah.
And I love, and like the bumpiness of his, and then when he came in and the front relaxed, there was a bit of a Dorian in there, I tell you. And then when he flexed his abs, everything just went, it was like lights out for everybody else, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, just so much. And he's got a roundness to the muscles too, where, you know, Cutler didn't really have much of a round, full look to the muscles. It was more of a squared off look, like in the Dorian sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, this kid's he's got so much potential because I think he said he'd only put on 4 or 5 pounds since Chicago. But I have to qualify that. When you say only 4 or 5 pounds, that's a tremendous muscle quality gain since, he competed in October at the Chicago Pro. So he didn't really have a lot of time for an off season.
Yeah.
He probably had to back off, clean out, rest up for a couple months after that. Then I think he only had a couple months of real solid off-season training before he had to turn around and start prepping for this.
That's not bad. I mean, for me, he had like a cleaner look. Like, I think by the time he got to Chicago, his body looked I don't like to use the word toxic, but it definitely, like, the way his skin, his muscle separation, everything was much clearer. Like, if you look at the North American, everything was there, the silhouette, but everything all the separation was a little bit blurry and maybe just been on prep too long and needed to shut it down. But this year he had a cleaner look to him. Like the muscles looked fresh. It looked like everything was deeply separated and carved out. And although for me, I don't know what it is, but his radial bicep for me was more shocking last year. I think it's because he's got a little bit of extra thickness in the waist, but it's because he's put so much muscle on. But for me, the side tricep and the radial bicep were slightly more impressive last year. But everything else, the front double bicep, side chest, ab and thigh was amazing. Most muscular, rear lats, and it's rear lats, but he wasn't quite hitting his scapula wasn't fully coming out. But I think pretty much in all the other poses, there was significant improvements.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have any bad poses. Certainly, some of his poses are the ones that people sit up and pay attention to more. But I think he's also, sometimes we look for muscle maturity to become more pronounced as time goes by. Like with Rami, God, we were hoping to see that every year for years and years. But I'm seeing a progression in that with Nick already. Yeah. And this isn't even a year's time. It's Jesus.
Crazy,
he was on stage 8 months ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be that guy that says he's a future Mr. Olympia, because you never know. But he's definitely in my mind. I see him as a top 5 Olympia guy within 2 years.
I agree, actually.
If not sooner.
I think he could get 6th to 8th this year.
Yeah, I think he will.
I think, and do you know what I'm really looking forward to? I put it on the forum today, on the MD forum. I'm really looking forward to seeing him against Hunter, because they're both a similar age. They're the similar hype around them, similar kind of. They're kind of at a similar point in their careers. That's who I'm really looking forward to seeing. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing like Akim and Kukla, because they're both 6th at the Olympia this year. I want to see Justin versus. I'm trying to think who I want to see Justin versus, actually. Oh, Ian Valier, and then I want to see Hunter versus Nick at the Olympia, because that's going to be like, it's the kind of the new young guns, the new guys that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, and we have to say it at some point. The Blessing versus Nick thing obviously didn't materialize.
No.
Blessing, he got roasted on social media ever since Indy, and it's been at this show. I think because the show had a bigger,
it's too much.
Had a lot more attention on it, and because this is the show he'd been talking about, facing off against Nick. Unfortunately, there was a big backlash against him, but he's made a couple posts where he's recognizing what he needs to do, and it's so I see a lot of potential in Blessing. I think he just needs to shut things down after he's got one more show, Cali Pro, and take a full year to really work, especially on those legs.
Yep.
Continue working hard on the back. Keep that waist tight. I think Blessing can be very good. It's just he heaped a lot of expectations on himself because he's a master at social media. You talk about some of these guys that they're social media morons. They have very low followings. They don't produce any content.
Yeah.
And their argument would be, well, I'm focusing on bodybuilding. I'm focusing on my training and my eating and this and that. But you can't just do that now, unfortunately. It's 2021.
Yeah.
Social media is a huge part of everything that we do now, in any business. But I'm not going to tell him to back off on his content because that's his bread and butter, I'm sure. But it'd be interesting to see. We should also mention Morgan Ass because again, he's someone that I would call it more of put him in the category of like the people's champion.
Yeah.
Because he's structurally he's hampered. I don't see him ever fighting for any of the major titles because of that, unfortunately. But boy, the crowd loves that guy.
Do they?
I actually said we should come up with a new division just for Morgan. The 312.
The 312. Yeah. Shit. He'd probably struggle to make that.
Condition was crazy.
Yeah.
And consistently.
Yeah.
This is the third time I've seen him, and I don't know if it was just the lighting. The Arnold was probably the peak, but he's very, very close at the Indy and New York Pro to what we saw last year in Columbus.
Yeah.
And he's a graceful poser. He hits a lot of artistic type poses. You would never expect a 6'3", 315-pound guy to hit these poses and pull them off successfully, and he does. And I've had the chance to meet him and talk to him a little bit. And he's a really cool guy, very humble.
He's a nice guy, isn't he? Nice guy.
He is.
Yeah. I like him.
Scary looking dude, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah. He always checks my stories and DMs and stuff. He's a really, really cool guy. And I think he's starting to get the promotion thing now because he was overtraining in Dubai with Larry Wheels. He's been doing, he did that film with Kai Green, that Bollywood, like Mortal Kombat type film, and I think I'd like to see him, like I said last week on the show, I said I'd like to see him do run a film career alongside this because, he wouldn't need to win shows then, But to be honest, I think he looked slightly better last week. What do you think?
A lot of people looked better last week, and I don't think their physiques were any different, or maybe not significantly different. The lighting in Indy was more of that sparse overhead lighting where you used to see in the old bodybuilding shows from decades ago.
Night of Champions.
Yeah, which I think that brings out the condition more so.
Yeah.
Because, I'll use Nathan Epler as an example. You couldn't have been more conditioned than Nathan Epler was last weekend.
Yeah.
Glutes here we go, talking about guys' glutes. But he had 1,000 horizontal stripes across his glutes.
Yeah.
Clear, deep, separate striations his glutes. And he had them here too, but they weren't as pronounced. And Hector and I, because, Hector's taking the photographs, he's a lot more cognizant of the lighting differences between shows, and he agreed. He said the lighting here is it's coming from more different directions, so it filled in a lot of those fine details rather than something that's more overhead. You see it more. So I don't think he looked very different. I do think it was mainly the lighting situation. Yeah. Hassan Mustafa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Flex Wheeler has been helping with his posing, and
good.
That's been a sore spot for Hassan. He's kind of he was very awkward in his posing before, just looked like an amateur, and now it's getting a lot more fluid. He holds his poses better. He's learning a lot. I'm sure Flex had a lot to do with it. So Flex and Victor Martinez are sitting, and at one point we had a bathroom break, and I came back and I asked them, and they both thought he should have won the show.
Won it? No. I to be honest, third was fair. A third was fair, and I'm a huge Hassan fan. I saw a post, because obviously I said to when I interviewed him a few months ago, I said, look, can you do something to get that waist down? Is it to do with, you know, the food amount you're taking in or anything, you know, GH or whatever, insulin or whatever it is. And they, a few weeks ago, I think Chris Aceto, they took all the vegetables out because sometimes that can cause like bloating. And they tried eliminating certain foods. And they said when he took the vegetables out, it definitely, I don't know for what reason, with fiber or something, maybe it was causing some sort of inflammation.
Can't digest fiber, so it stays.
Yeah.
I always, here we go, we're going to have a nutrition argument here on Global Muscle, but I always believe that fiber, because we can't digest cellulose, that it's sort of pushed through the body, through the digestive tract. And I would have assumed that would make your waist and your midsection flatter. Yeah. But with a lot of people, apparently it does bloat when they have a lot of fiber in their diet. It bloats their midsection. I know one competitor who, when they had really bad bloating when they had broccoli. Wow. Yeah, it caused distension on stage at the Olympia, and then they took it out, and then the waist came in. They had to find out what it was. Broccoli in particular, I think a lot of people watching this, bodybuilders, can relate. It's one of the most gas producing food items you can. I had to stop eating broccoli years ago because the gas was horrific. Bloated and gassy, and stopped eating broccoli. I heard it's because you prefer French fries. I ate a lot of French fries this weekend. Every show I end up eating. Because you don't have a lot of time between the judging and stuff a lot. Yeah. So the quickest thing, you can't go to a restaurant and get something that's going to take 45 minutes to cook. You got to get a burger and fries. High calorie, high dense, so you can get on and do some more content. So go back to Hassan. I noticed more. The waist was definitely better. It still needs work. But I noticed there was more detail in his chest, his shoulders, his triceps. There was because he's got such round, full, fucking crazy muscle. But I saw he's definitely making strides forward. I've definitely seen improvements, but he's still not. He could still be better. He's a work in progress. He's but he's making progress. I've been really disappointed with his color at a couple of these shows too in the past because he didn't get dark enough. He didn't have enough glaze on. Yeah. He nailed his color. It was done very, very well this time. And he was leaner. This is the leanest I've ever seen him. Yeah. I still would have liked to see maybe 5% more definition. Yeah. And then I don't know if he wasn't beating Nick, and that's, you know, I sound like a broken record because someone will say, "How dare you?" The Hassan fans will be like, "How dare you say he couldn't be?" At this show, nobody was beating Nick. I'm sorry. No. To be honest, I thought the top three, the top four, I thought the top five was fair. The top five I thought was a fair placings. I thought it was accurate. Dorian Hayward in fourth. Mohamed El Imam in fifth, Blessed in sixth. I'm not sure about that, but I tell you who I think you need to keep an eye on is that Roy Evans. Roy. Have a look at that guy in a couple of years. 'Cause to be honest, he looks like another 20 pounds. That's the silhouette of Sean Roden. I'm telling you. Well, he just moved up from Classic. Yeah. Where I don't know how well he did in Classic. He never did that well at the Olympia level, but. Yeah, until last weekend, I'd seen the name before, but I really hadn't paid a lot of attention to him. Very, very impressive. Great shape. He had condition was on. The glutes were in. Incredible. Yeah, he's very, very good. Yeah. It's just a matter of time. I think if he came from Classic, I assume, you know, he had to put on a little size to jump up to Open. And he needs a little more if he's going to be standing next to the guys we've been talking about for sure. Yeah. But yeah, Roden's a good example. I see that. Well, you know, it's funny. Justin Rodriguez is in his interview. He gave credit. You know how Justin hits that sort of tilt? Yeah. So he said that's Sean Roden. But you know, Victor does that. Victor Martinez used to do that tilt too. Yes, he did. You have to have really good shape to pull it off that way. No, Victor Martinez used to go further. He used to tilt more. Yeah. He used to tilt over. But if you look on Roy Evans' Instagram, he did. You know the picture where he does the arm up, but he does the intercostals. Yeah. He actually put it next to, he says, Sean Roden's his idol, and he's actually trying to... So actually, I can see there's real... Like, if you look at Sean Roden around 2011 when he got 11th at Olympia, if you look at the silhouette and then flick to Roy Evans, I'm telling you, there's real... I'm not saying they're like carbon copies of each other, like twin brothers separated at birth, but I'm telling you, there's real similarities in shape and structure, which is good for his potential. Like you said, if he's coming from Classic, then he's just starting to hit his stride and be able to put on size. But I think give him 2 years, I think he could surprise. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that one pose. The Roden would do the intercostal with the arm up. Yeah, and you know, you'd see these crazy ham glute separation. And the quads would be sweeping out from the side. And Roy has a very similar look to his legs. Yes. As Roden. Now now that you mentioned it, I never really thought of that, but I do see a lot of comparisons in there.
Okay.
On Wing is somebody we should. This is he could have been leaner for sure. And condition has been sort of his Achilles heel in shows past, but a lot of potential. He's got a great physique on Wing. Beautiful structure and shape.
I think if you look at him, how he looked at Chicago last year, I think it was Chicago he did. He looked great there, but I think he's took a step back. I've got a feeling he'll correct it for Cali. I think he was just flat.
I believe, he was flat. And his coach Dave Kalick. No, I'm sorry, Justin Miller's his coach now.
Okay.
Same guy.
Okay.
George DeBull, and who did Justin just pick up to? Akim Williams.
Yep.
He said, I don't know if they were targeting specifically, and Justin will text me as soon as this comes out and correct me because I'm probably wrong. But Cali Pro is where they're really. That's a show I think he's been wanting to win for a while. I think has done every Cali Pro that's been promoted.
Oh wow, okay.
Thus far, so all the East Coast guys want to win the New York Pro, and I think a lot of the California bodybuilders they want to win the California Pro. Yeah, it's just a pride thing. That's their stage.
Well, it's like Juan Morel and Victor Martinez all wanting to win the New York Pro, and Guy Sistanino and stuff. Actually, is Guy from New York?
Guy's from New Jersey.
New York, same place.
It's the same. It's very. They sound the same. Trust me.
Right. We'll talk about Dorian Hayward and then we'll wrap it up. So, what do you think about Dorian?
Dorian improved a lot from last week. I was very critical of him, and I'm a fan of his physique, but we have to be critical. That's our job. So last week I didn't like his color. I thought he wasn't lean enough. I thought his legs were really flat. And I had a lengthy conversation with his coach about it, and he agreed with everything. He said, well, we're going to fix it. Every coach says that.
Yeah.
But, 9 times out of 10, they don't look that much better 1 week later. But Dorian did. He tightened up. He lost a few pounds.
Okay.
And his color was much better. He had controlled another thing, he always has to watch his midsection. If he doesn't really keep focused on keeping it sucked in nice and flat, it tends to start protruding. So he definitely kept a much better control over his midsection for the show. And where'd he end up? 4th? Yeah, I don't think he was beating Hassan, but very, very respectable placing. Had he looked the way he looked last week, I don't think he would not have been top 5.
Okay. Well, I think he just needs more from the back, more thickness, more development, more condition. And also sort of bloody compulsory pose it, because he hits poses and he tries to do 3 variations of the same pose as he does. And I think it looks sloppy. I think he needs to sort that out. He needs to not to be so jerk. Like the way Nick Walker came on, he hit a frontal bicep and then he just held it. He didn't move. He was like a statue. Yeah. He was it exudes confidence. It exudes like, okay, I've come prepared. He's practicing his posing in the gym and he's trying all the variations. It's like, no, decide how you hit a pose and hit the fucking pose, because that's how you need to do it.
Me, my pet, it's a pet peeve. It's very minor, but
okay.
The last pose that they call is always your favorite, most muscular.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that indicate to you that you're going to pick one variation of most muscular?
Yes.
They all do one like with a hand or the hands on the hips, and then or with the clasp, and they all end up doing the crab anyway.
Hit 5 of your favorite versions of one pose, please.
And another thing, and this is even more trivial, and this is how easily annoyed I get.
Yeah.
But when they call most muscular, you'll always see at least a couple of the guys up there go. They're getting so jazzed, like I think they all think that's their best pose, but everyone thinks that's their best pose.
Okay.
Because you get to crunch all the stuff together. But honestly, because I'm taking the contest pictures, those always end up being the best pictures.
Yeah.
That pose, because that's where the freakiness, especially when we're getting into 212 men's open, that's when you see all the freaky muscle thickness and density, and striations and veins, especially with the crab. So I always try, because I know that they're going to do more than one variation. I try to take like 3 pictures of that one compulsory round, and you'll get three different poses out of that.
Yeah. So. Well, are you going to the Cali Pro?
I am not. They're going to have a webcast, I'm sure, so I'll be doing commentary for MD on that. But yeah, it's a 3-week. Geez, so Indy, New York, and then this weekend, 6 days from now, I'll be going to Nashville for the Redcon gym opening. So it's a busy month.
Nice.
I think if I was going to Cal too, I'd be burnt out.
Aren't you glad to be getting out and about again though, after all the lockdowns and all that bullshit? I mean regulation.
The Florida, this trip, because in Tampa, Florida, because you saw so many people walking around with masks. It was just so liberating. It's like, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Even though I have to go home and put the mask on again for everywhere around here. It was back to normal. There was no social distancing for the seating at the show.
Oh, really?
The thing that the policy is you can wear a mask if you want to, and a lot of people still choose to, but if you don't want to wear one, and a lot of us, if we've been vaccinated, we don't need to wear a mask. I mean, I think we won't get into that whole discussion, but it was nice to be out and about with no mask. It almost felt like things were back to normal.
What about your cape? Did you wear your cape with your mask or?
Cake? What?
Cape.
Oh, cape. No.
Well, that fell flat. Right, okay. I was trying to work out in my head how I can make it sound funny, but sorry, it didn't sound funny. So, right, okay then, Ron. Well, fantastic job, mate, and you did a great job on the coverage, and I was, you're pumping out so much content. And don't worry, you and me will be reunited, hopefully, at the Arnold and the Olympia, because I'll swim on I'll build a raft if I have to.
Yeah, before I go, I need to thank the behind-the-scenes people. Of course, Mike Cox was there with me, so you saw him. He wasn't quite behind. Hector Mendoza, who's there with me at the show.
Yep.
The people behind the scenes at the website, Jen Gerisi, she's managing everybody, uploading all the photos.
Go, Jen.
Chris Griffin Goon was one of them. Baudane Dave was another one. So there's a lot of people, because I'm taking, on the flight back, I deleted 800 some odd pictures off my camera roll. And those were pictures that I was taking during the show. And they were the ones who had to upload them to the play-by-play thread for me, because there's no time. I can't do that. He's just no time. It's a lot of work.
I'm going to take Thursday off just to delete all the pictures, because I didn't turn off the save to camera roll. So because I went to bed last night because I wanted to be fresh for filming today. And I thought, okay, well, I've done the play-by-play on for most of the day, but I need to get to bed now. And I turned my phone on this morning off airplane mode, and it was like, and it just went. I was like, no, it's like hundreds. But there were some good pictures, because I used one with of Mohammed El Imam and Nick Walker. I put it on Global, and I reshared it to MD.
You were on the thread. We have a little private chat on WhatsApp, and you were on there, yeah.
Yeah, I was on there, yeah. But I thought, because the finals weren't till like basically midnight for us, and I thought, you know what? I think I need to just, I need to be fresh, because I'm filming. We've done a lot of filming today. All of this is done in one day, and this is a long episode. So, and I've got articles to write as well. So I've got lots of articles and editing and all that to do. But, we love what we do, mate. And we're very lucky to do what we do, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And, good job, mate. And thank you, as always, for coming on MD Glove Muscle.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, Giles. Thanks, Kaleem.
Yep.
Thanks to all the viewers. Yeah, love you guys.
Thanks to my cat outside. I can see her at the door wanting to come in.
Okay.
All right then, Ron. Thank you for coming on, mate. And 2 episodes till episode 100, mate. Yay.
Wow. Have to have a party. We got to do something for that.
Carlene,
think about it.
Carlene says, can you reach out to Arnold and The Rock, please? Because he wants those 2 on episode 100.
Stranger things have happened in this world. Who knows?
I'll try and get him.
Okay, fair enough. Cool.
Got 2 weeks.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Ron.
Good to be back.
All right, take care then, Ron, and get some sleep, mate, because you've earned it, mate. You've worked very, very hard.
I think you can see I need some.
All right then, Ron.
All right, cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, this is a review of the 2021 New York Pro, the open class. We've gone from the live stream footage that we accessed yesterday when the show was happening live. Our first one up is Morgan Asti from France. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed. Morgan got 8th place. When you see someone that's 6'3", 300, and I think he was reported to be, I'm sure Ron said he was 315. I think he was 320 at the Arnold Classic last year. And it's such a shame when someone brings this level of conditioning with that amount of muscle and they get, 8th place is not a disgrace, but there was only kind of 10 guys in the show, So it's not really an indication of how good he is. With Morgan, he's got muscle. He's not really missing any body parts. But it's just the structure. It's pure structure. But he brings so much to any show he does purely for his freak factor. But it's a very quick routine. I thought, is this the actual posing routines we've got here, or this is the posing routines, isn't it? Or is this the 60 seconds we've got up here? I didn't really check. It said this is finals. This is finals. So this is finals B. This was his posing routine. Is it? Must be. Yeah. I thought he'd be doing some floor poses, Morgan.
Not very impressed.
So, yeah, I thought Ron Harris said he did a really good routine, but I'd like to see more chest on. Yeah, it is his pose routine. I'd like to see more chest on Morgan. I think it would really help his physique. His traps, his shoulders, his legs, his back is just so thick. And I'm going to say it, I think he looked better at Indy. I do. Watching this now, I think he looked better at Indy. Yeah. I think he looked... I just think he looks a little bit... Not, I wouldn't say stringy, but... He definitely had more popping at the Indy Pro week previous. Definitely. Looks good here. Look at his traps. Wow. I'm not sure about the beard either.
No, I don't reckon he suits it.
No, don't like it. I think he needs to trim it a little bit. It needs to be shorter. But we like Morgan. Morgan's a cool dude. Definitely get him on MD Globe Muscle again. Always doing some proper aesthetic poses now. Yeah, like I said, he's someone I could get excited about seeing in a show, you know, and I think he like you said, he brings that freak factor. He's been out in Dubai training with Larry Wheels. He's really been doing a lot to increase his profile recently. And, yeah, it's just the structure, isn't it? You look fantastic.
Yeah, I can see why you got it.
You think, yeah, you can. Yeah. Yeah, and it was a good show. It's a New York Pro. It's probably they class it as the third biggest pro show. But look at the condition. Look at his glutes. I mean, his legs, his whole lower body is completely skinned. It's completely skinned. Don't clap yourself. Don't do that. It's like when they put the ear to the hand, isn't it? Yeah, come on. Who's next? Well, that's Shannon Day. Yeah. Oh, here I have Blessing. Yeah, this was this wasn't Blessing's best, really. I like I said in the Global Muscle shoutouts and the hot news, I'd like to focus more on, for this season, for his rookie season, I'd like to focus on how he looked at the night show at the Indy. He was very flat at the pre-judging, very, very depleted, and he kind of filled out a lot for the night show. But I think he was criticized for coming in flat, and I think he overcompensated for this New York Pro. I think he just, from what I heard, what I understand, and you can see from his face and the way the muscle's not popping, but everything looks kind of like not a little bit bloated. It's not quite as crisp. That's overeating. That's overcarbing. That's him panicking, trying to come in bigger and fuller, and all that happens is he kind of loses that pop to the physique. And I mean, that readable bicep last week was like a completely different guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks like someone else.
Yeah, it looks like somebody else. It does look like somebody else. I mean, you can see here the glutes are kind of in, but yeah, they're not sharp, and it makes everything look smaller because it's like it's just, I've seen it happen. When you see guys that they just basically pig out after the show, they panic and think they need to be 10 pounds heavier. And yes, they do come in 10 pounds heavier. I've seen guys that carb up on insulin that do this, and they end up, it kind of goes subcutaneous. It doesn't go intracellular. So yes, he is heavier here, but he doesn't look as big. He doesn't look actually as big in the muscle. The muscle bellies don't fill out. It kind of just blurs everything in between the muscle groups. Because his readable bicep at the Indy Pro at the night show, go and have a look at the pictures. It was sensational. It was really impressive. He was really holding his own. Third place in his rookie debut. But like I keep saying, he's getting absolutely murdered on social media. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are talking about him. Yes, which is a good thing. But when it's not good stuff they're talking about, is that necessarily a good thing for his profile? But I would think give him a couple of years. Give him a couple of years to get the formula right. Working with Chad Nichols, get the, that's one of his best poses. And you saw the pictures on Instagram. He looked fantastic. And all the separation was there, and everything was full, and everything was kind of like really pushing against the skin. It just looks blurry and flat and kind of. I think he was under a lot of stress as well, a lot of pressure. As you can imagine with your pro debut, hasn't competed for 4 years, moved from Ireland to America. He got sponsors to keep happy, and he got these millions of followers. He's dancing. Go on, bless him. Yeah. So yeah, no, give him a couple of years. He'll be good. He needs time. He just needs time. He needs to bring the quads up, bring the hamstrings up, and just keep doing what he's doing. Because I think he's got a great structure. Will he be one of the best of all time? He's 29. You know, some of the guys at the Olympia aren't really peaking to their late 30s, even their early 40s. So I would say let's really reassess this in 2 years' time. If he's still looking the same or he's looking worse, then yeah, he was a kind of a bit of a flash in the pan Instagram superstar or whatever. But, you know, let's just give him time. Ronnie Coleman, like I said, Ronnie Coleman and Nasser Sambati weren't exactly, you know, firing on all cylinders out the gate in the start of their career. But eventually they kept working, and they came back. And they, you know, some of the best physiques of all time. So, yeah, just give him time. He just needs to go back to the drawing board now. Okay, now who's this guy? Is this Camilo? Camilo, I think his name is. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. Camilo Diaz, is it? I've got that name in my head. Yeah, I can't remember this guy's placing. What was he? I think he had a good placing. Was it 6th or 7th? Well, he definitely beat Morgan, I think. Yeah. Nice physique. Needs more back. But good quads. Kind of looks like he's probably too big for 212. But he's a diamond in the rough, this guy. You know, needs more size. But quite good posing now. Yeah, okay, let's go to the next guy. Okay, let's go to... Oh, still going. Oh, here comes Mohammed. Right, okay. Right, okay. So that was Camilo, I think. Sorry, I'll bring the name up on the screen when we do the editing. But now we have Mohammed Elamam, who, thank God, fixed his tan and glaze for the night show because it was terrible at the judging. And I was, like I said, on the shout-outs, I was messaging him, and I got a few voice notes back because he was traveling by himself. He was over there by himself, traveling from Russia, originally from Egypt. And he was given the okay for the tan at the judging, and I think it cost him his placing because at the judging, Dorian Hayward beat, who was 4th place, beat Mohammed. You can look at the score. If you look at the score sheets, the night show, it was swapped. Mohammed was actually judged higher than Dorian by the point system. So there's a good argument that if his tan had been right for the pre-judging, would Mohammed have got 4th over Dorian Hayward? I think it would have been a lot closer than it was. But I mean, top 5, I just thank God he sort. Oh yeah, he's not quite. I don't know. Do you think he was better at Indy?
Just by a smidge.
Yeah, the quads were slightly drier, weren't they? They were. Yeah, no, I see it now. Definitely needs more hamstrings in the side shots. Yeah, he was. Yeah, no, I think tan aside, I think Mohammed was definitely sharper at Indy. Thing is, it's tricky being over there by yourself in hotel rooms and trying to cook your food and. Yeah, and it took him 4 flights and 30 hours to get from Russia to Indy. Then he traveled from Indy to Florida. So, and he's out by himself. But sorry.
I think he's staying with a mate.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a friend in for the Cali. He's got a friend over there. So for Cali Pro, hopefully he'll have somebody there to keep him right and to keep checking on him and make sure his condition's okay and make sure he's relaxed because he definitely didn't look as good here as he did at the Indy Pro. But and it's funny, I've said this in the last episode, he looks kind of, if I was to estimate his height and weight, I'd say 5'10", 260, 250. He's actually 5'7" and 225. So he's only 10, 12 pound away from the 212. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. No. He wouldn't. No, he'd be no. He wouldn't be. He's 5'7" is the absolute height you'd need to be. It's the tallest height you need to be for 212. 212 is really 5'5" and under if you want to do well. I mean, this guy could hold 240, 245 easy. Now this guy was a shock. Roy Jones. He was, I think he was 10th place or 9th place. Sorry, I should have the placings in front of me really. But he didn't really cut. He didn't stand out for me at the Indy, but for this show he did. Ron Harris said that Roy has moved. Look at his tiny waist there. Look at that. That's impressive. Ron Harris, who's on last week's Global Muscle, said that Roy had moved up from Classic. So, and we are getting him on Global Muscle, hopefully for episode 19, season 4. So that's next week. Hopefully we'll get him on. But yeah, I can see real potential with Roy. I think, to be honest, what really shocked me was... Oh, he's doing the Sean Roden pose now. Yeah, he posted this on his Instagram. Yeah, that's Sean Roden's pose. I saw Sean Roden hit that at the 2012 Dallas Pro. I was there. And that was when he really hit his stride. He moved up from 11th Olympia to 3rd at Olympia from 2011 to 2012. But here we are. Look at the back shots now. Look at this. Look at the glutes, hamstrings, calves. Look at the separation. Look at the quality there. Can you see that this guy could be something really special in a couple of years?
His back's very good. I'm not too keen on the front.
The front, yeah, no, I'm saying the back shot. I mean, you can see the potential, the structure, the genetic shape. I think give this guy a couple of years. I think he could be really good. Because don't forget, he's only just moved up from Classic.
Right, okay, so there's okay work.
Yeah, so he's already looking like he belongs in the open class. And that's in his first year. I think he's got a beautiful shape. Look at the V taper. Look at the V shape. There, look. See? Small waist, flaring lats, good legs, fantastic back shots. Yeah, very aesthetic, very good physique. I think this is a guy to keep an eye out for. Well, he's doing splits. Oh, cool. Needs to smile a bit. Smile a bit, mate. Come on. You're at the New York Pro. Smile. Come on. You can eat cake tomorrow. Maybe he's doing the Cali. I'm assuming he's doing the Cali. He's probably one of these guys who just wants to do as many shows as he can to get experience, you know? But, yeah, honestly, I think he could be really shocking people in a year or two. Look at that. That's a very Sean Roden-style physique, you know? Look at it. You really look at his physique and look at early shots of Sean Roden. That is, I'm telling you, he could be really good. I think he's good now. He's great now. The conditioning, the quality, that shot's good. That's impressive. Yeah. Is that swinging something? That's annoying. We're taking photos of someone swinging their shit in the front row. Yeah, no, Roy Evans. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, very, very good. Very impressive. One to watch for the future. Absolutely. Okay, Shannon Day on the hot mic. Did you see? You didn't see the live stream, did you? She could hear her saying, "It's the long ass day." She said it on the live stream because she was away from the mic. She was talking to, I think, to Carla Salotti backstage, and she's going, "It's the long ass day." It's like, your mic's on. Here we go. Dorian Hayward. Yeah. Very, very, very good. I'm so glad this guy's really hitting his stride now because like I said, he impressed me at the 2017 Tampa Pro, but he got like 12th place or something. I mean, it was out of top 10. It wasn't, and I just thought this guy, make a few tweaks to his physique with conditioning, and his posing wasn't very good then. I think is he better now than he was at Indy? Yeah, he's so thick. I don't like his posing. Yeah. No, he needs to sort that out. Yeah, it's a bit sloppy. But
the guy before was a bit too slow.
No, I liked his posing. I like posing. Yeah, he needs to. He's very jerky and he's not hitting the pose confidently and holding it. He's kind of just doing all the different variations of a same pose when you just need to find the one that works for you, hit the pose and stick to it. And he's not holding his pose either. Yeah. Like I said, I want to see more back on him. I think his side shot there, side chest, that shot, see, he lacks lat thickness. His delts are incredible. His legs are just fucking 100 pounds each. But I think more back development and also more condition and everything from the back. I think because his hamstrings there really dug out. Look at that. That's very, very impressive, that. If he could get more going on in detail and thickness and development on his back, then his back's not up to par. But he really has potential. Yeah, like I said, not the prettiest of structure, but who gives a shit when you're that massive? Yeah, fantastic, really fantastic, and definitely going to have to get him on Global Muscle. Maybe we'll get him on next week. I've already reached out to him, so I love his shoulders. My God. I wonder what he can press. Dorian Hayward. He was 4th place. It was interesting to see. He obviously beat Mohamed El Imam, who Mohamed beat him the week before at the Indy. So he was, I think it was a case of Mohamed slipping and him improving. So here we go, Hassan Mustafa. Oh, am I showing bias now? A little bit, yeah. Hassan Mustafa. Now this was what I wanted to see from Hassan. I wanted to see improvements in his conditioning and his separation, and he absolutely achieved that. Could he be more separated and more conditioned? Yes, of course he could. Because when you've got that much muscle, look at the legs and the arms and everything. If you're not really deeply separated, you look off. Like, you could see him a week after a show and he would just look fat. He would look bloated because his muscles that thick and that round. He almost has to sacrifice muscle tissue to get that conditioning. But there's more going on in his legs and his delts and his back, the lat striations, than he had last year. So he is moving forward. I wonder if, like I said in the shout-outs, I wonder if he's actually going to move to Vegas to train at the Dragon's Lair. Because I know he's been out there for several weeks. And I don't know whether that's a permanent thing or just a temporary thing. But I would love to, because Sean Roden's now moved to Vegas. And a lot of, I think Rafael Brandeo was moving to Vegas. It is, because it's the new Mecca. It is the new Mecca. Because obviously Flex Lewis, he's a bodybuilder. And he makes all the bodybuilders feel very welcome. And he's very encouraging. It's a very positive environment. So I would love to see Hassan. Oh my God, look at that.
How tall is he?
Fucking hell, he's a freak. He's a shorty. I love his side chest. I thought his side chest was better than Nick's.
Yes.
It was definitely better. Look at that. I mean, how can you have that much muscle? Whoa. Fuck. Very impressive. I'm happy to see this, but we know he can still be better. And I'm happy to see the waist come in a little bit. It's not, there's definitely... Sorry, yeah, he does. Yeah, he needs to. But like I said, he's a work in progress. But my God, he's definitely better than he was last year. Because with somebody that much muscle, you want to see them do well. You don't want to see them get second and third quarters, which he didn't get here. But you want to see this guy winning shows like this. He should be winning shows like this. And Nguyen, I hope I've said his name right. He's from California, I believe. I'm a big fan of An. I think he's fantastic. I think he was better at Chicago last year. He looks better in the video than he does in the pictures, I've got to be honest. In the pictures, I just thought he was very flat and nothing was really popping. Now, Anne's someone that really struggled with his condition for many, many years. I saw him at the 2017 Tampa Pro. Even though he made top 5, I think got fifth or sixth, he was someone that really was not even scratching his potential in terms of his conditioning, his separation. And then last year, he kind of leveled up a little bit and he looked really, really good. But he seems to have... My hope is that he does Cali, which I'm sure he's going to, because I think that's where he's from. But this is not him peaking as well as he did last year. And if you look at him, he's like Mohammed Mustafa. He's got a lot of muscle. He's not missing anything. His structure is very good. But to me, he looks several weeks out there. Could he do it in a week? Because the Cali Pro's next week, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Could he do that in a week? I don't know.
No.
He could, maybe he's just flat and the muscles aren't pushing against the skin, Sometimes it's not even the body fat or the water levels. It's the fact that the muscles flat. And then like the next day at a photo shoot when he eats up, he could look absolutely phenomenal. But he doesn't look hard. The muscle doesn't look like it's pushing against the skin. So maybe it is just a matter of just peaking differently for the Cali. And if he does, then he's going to be a threat. He's going to be up there. But this conditioning is not good enough for the New York Pro. Sorry. But yeah, this is not him at his best. But let's hope, let's fingers crossed he does something different for the Cali Pro, and that he does the Cali Pro, and that he really shows the best physique that he kind of showed last year. Who's next? Come on. Who's this? Oh, Justin Rodriguez. Oh my God, one of my all-time, well, not my all-time favorites, but he's one of my favorites right now. Indy Pro champ. I'll say it now. I've looked at the pictures. I've looked at a lot of video, and I do think that he peaked better at the Indy Pro. For me, he was lighter. I think he was probably several pounds lighter here, I'd imagine, but the physique wasn't as bursting. It wasn't bursting like it was the week before. But look at that frontal bicep. Look at that. Hold your abs in, mate. God. No, you can't. You can't relax your stomach in your first pose in your posing routine. Yeah, the front lat spread, that's probably his worst pose. I'd like to see more outer tricep, more quads from the front. See his triceps are, when he does that twisting shoulder, his triceps look weak there. See, look, but the inner tricep that hangs down kind of makes up for it. But my God, he's making strides. He was 10th at Olympia last year. He won the Indy Pro last week, his first pro win. But I'm so happy to see Justin really, really stepping up now and really moving forward. Prepped by Coach Abdullah, who was on last episode of MD Globe Muscle. I mean, his condition is very, very good here. But I think it is difficult to peak twice in 1 week, 1 week apart. And he did peak perfectly, I think, for the Indy Pro, certainly at the night show. If you look at the pictures from the night show when he won and he was doing his winning shots, we're talking like 2 or 3% better, which is can be the difference between winning and being really competitive with someone like Nick Walker, who was at his all-time best. But I would love to see Justin move up at the Olympia this year. I think he could be 6th to 8th at Olympia this year. I don't think he'll be top 5. But he was 10th last year. I could see him in the 6th to 8th spot, 100%. It's a shame he got bigger out of triceps. It's just genetic, really. See, that shot blew my socks off last week. It blew my ankle socks off. My Star Wars socks. So, yeah. But, good showing. But maybe it was a mistake doing this show. I don't know. That's prize money, isn't it? Because he probably knew he was going to be 1st or 2nd. And if you're committed to these shows, it is important that you still do them.
Got to get that PlayStation 5.
You've got to get the PlayStation. Wow, look at Nick. What a tank. OMFG. Wow, look at his abs. They don't look real, do they? They look stuck on or painted on.
Look way better than last year.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll make some observations about last year. Because he's bigger this year. He was harder than last year. And he has a cleaner look this year. There's the muscle separation, that front double bicep. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Is his right leg smaller than his left? Be honest, Kalim.
I reckon it's the angle of the camera.
I don't think it is. I think his left leg is bigger than his right. I mean, I'm really nitpicking here because he is a guy that, oh my God, he's not even, was he 27, 28?
Yep.
Yeah. His side chest, very, very good. And you know what? He doesn't really have a weak compulsory pose. That's like Dorian Yates. If your physique comes together in the compulsory poses, okay, I'm going to say something that's going to really piss the fans off now. I preferred his rear double bicep last year. It was more of a V. There's more of a V going on. I know because he's a lot thicker, a lot bigger this year. But to me, the whole V shape in his back and his rear double biceps is not quite as prominent. I preferred it last year. But every other area, his arms are bigger, the shoulders are bigger, the polish, the overall presentation for me is better than last year. So he's definitely moving forward. And this was a very, very decisive win. Look at his arms. Look at his left arm.
Kind of looks like Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. Look at short Jay. But he's built like a tank, isn't he? He's like a little mini Hulk. But could Nick Walker make top 6 at the Olympia this year? I don't know.
He's got a good chance.
Do you think? Do you think make top 6? Do you know what I want to see? I want to see Nick Walker versus Hunter because they're very similar age, similar point in their careers. Both kind of pro show winners out the gate. Obviously, Hunter won the Tampa Pro last year, and then he went and took 8th place at the Olympia last year. 8th place, yeah. And there's there's Dan Solomon. Right, okay, I think that's the end of the posing routines.
Are you going to wave to Dan?
Hi, Dan. No, this isn't live. This is the recorded one.
For the viewers.
Hi, Dan. Okay, well, Dan's wasn't on enough 30 minutes of Dan talking. Right, okay, that is okay. Should we see a bit of the posing routines or no? Not we've just seen the posing routines. What we're talking about? Okay, Dan's still talking. Should we see? No, Dan's still talking. Talking about the Olympia, no doubt. Obviously, with it moving to Orlando. So yeah, let's watch some of the comparisons. Okay, let's go back. Here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. This is what we want. Can you turn the sound up on this one? We could be okay on just. Yeah, put a little bit of sound on because you've got to get a bit of the atmosphere, you know? Right, okay. I'm going to go back again. Sorry to do this. Yeah, he's talking about the Olympia. Dan's looking beefy again. Have you noticed?
I've noticed.
He's trained. He's got his fancy home gym. There we are. Big Morgan, 315 pounds. Don't start a fight with him in a bar. Blessing looks like a bloody classic next to Morgan. Oh, my God. Do you think Morgan should have beat Blessing? No, okay. Okay, well, that's fine. Fine, it's your opinion.
Justin, Nick.
Right, okay. Okay, let's go to the first call-outs. Oh, here we go. This is the first call out. So that's the top 4. That's the top 4. I agree with that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And I think the tan cost Mohammed that.
Justin and Dorian, switch, please.
Justin and Dorian, they're getting the 1 and 2 next to each other. So, yeah. God, when he flexes his abs, when Nick is in the front relaxed, and when he actually flexes his abs, it completely transforms him because he goes from, because he's so stacked with muscle. I still think he could get his condition better, you know. I still think his condition could be better. He'll have to be for the Olympia. If Nick wants to make 6th to 8th at the Olympia, I think he's going to have to come with slightly better condition. Only a tiny bit. There's could definitely be more detail going on around, you know. But like I said, he's doing so well. He was 4th place at the Chicago Pro just weeks after turning pro at the North Americans. And then you had, okay, front double bicep. Even though that's Justin's shot, I'm giving that to Nick. Front lat spread.
He's got pointy shoulders.
Pointy shoulders, who? Justin, I know, I noticed that.
Weird.
Is that muscle or is there something suspicious in there?
Side chest.
I'm not going to point any fingers just yet.
Okay. I thought that actually when he was doing his posing routine. I did think there was a little bit of unnatural swelling. If he's sticking stuff in there, stop it.
Back double bicep.
Because your delts are fantastic. Dorian looked good in that shot there. Dorian Hayward on the left. Here we are. Yeah. Right. You see, I can't really accurately... This is... Oh, it's tough. That's close between Justin and Nick there.
Back lat spread.
Yeah, the guy on the far left, I'm not keen on.
Yeah, his back's not good. His back's not good. He's out of contention here. You see, Hassan, like I said, he just needs that little bit of extra detail going on in the hams and the glutes because he's so thick. He has to be separated. But there's more going on his shoulders that he had last year, so that's good. More going on his abs. Yeah, and I preferred Nick's side tricep last year as well. Go and look at the Chicago Pro shots, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just the lighting, but for me, I was more wowed last year by his riddle bicep and his side tricep. Ab and thigh, spectacular. Yeah, Justin's faded here. Justin faded. Justin looks flat. He definitely looked better at the Indy Pro last week. Hassan looks great there. Looks absolutely fantastic there. Yeah. Yeah, Justin's most muscular is not popping. He's faded.
Nick,
He's
Justin,
faded.
and Hassan, thank you. Back in line.
Okay, that's
Dorian
Tyler's. That's Tyler's voice, isn't it? Tyler Mannion's.
Do you reckon
Blessing. Muhammad.
Justin.
Yes.
No, he got second.
Yeah, but do you think you should have got third?
In that, no. What do you think? Maybe Hassan should have beaten Justin.
Never so slightly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm quite clear on it, really. Okay, so this is for 4th, 5th, and 6th.
And Dorian, switch, please.
Now, 4th place was Dorian, 5th place was Mohammed, and 6th place was Blessing. See, Blessing is a big kid, really. Look at him.
Pretty tall.
He's big, and he's big. And he doesn't look small next to Dorian Hayward, who's thick as a brick. Mohammed's thick.
You see Nick staring at him.
Okay, yeah, he's winking at him. Yo, bro.
Quarter turn to the right.
Eyeballing him.
Our secret hype thing where we agreed to like diss each other work, bro. Everyone's talking about us. Wow.
Bicep.
Okay, Mohammed. I think he looks good here. The quads look dry. I think he just looked 2% better at the Indy. Blessing, see, nothing's popping like it was last week. He doesn't look too bad there. He's posing. Blessing, sort your posing out. Slow it down. Slow your posing down. See, look, the faces and everything he's pulling, that's very sloppy. Kai Green, I thought Kai Green would have sorted that for him. I think he's just... Thing is, though, you're like a rabbit in the bloody headlights when you get up on stage sometimes. I remember going to see Rulli over in Rotterdam when Sybil was prepping him. And they went through his posing half an hour every single day. And she says when he gets on stage, he kind of just... the adrenaline hits him and then everything he's learned in those months previous forgets because it's the excitement. You know, you kind of get... I've done it when I've been up on stage. You know, you got to really fight to stay focused. And, you know, and the thing is, it's hard work posing. Fucking hard work.
Side tricep.
Okay, who would you give that one to? I think Dorian's the best there. Yeah, I think that's fair. Dorian, yeah, I'd give that... See, it's a toss-up between Dorian and Mohammed. They're very, very, very close. Because Mohammed beat Dorian the week before, and then Dorian beat Mohammed here. Why?
Your favorite most muscular.
Blessing doesn't actually look that bad there, actually. I think, yeah, maybe he's working at some of those carbs he had. Yeah.
Relax.
Oh, well.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Back in line.
Yeah, he came in fuller. He did what he said he was going to do, but he did spill. He spilt badly.
Camilo. Roy.
Sorry, that Camilo, I think Camilo Diaz. I think that's his name. That's the guy who did posing routine earlier. So there we have Roy Evans, Camilo, Morgan Asti, and Ann Nguyen.
Camilo, switch, please.
So Morgan was it Ann Nguyen? No, I think Camilo was the highest placed at this. I haven't got the places in front of me.
Quarter turn to the right.
Yeah. God, look at the size of Morgan. Yeah. Tell you what, the only one who's... Oh, it's a good shot for Morgan.
Quarter turn to the right.
Isn't it funny? An aesthetic quarter turn shot is actually his best shot. I can't stop looking at Morgan's traps.
Quarter turn to the right.
You want for the back?
Yeah. Morgan's back.
Okay. Yeah. Roy Evans, man, I tell you what, that guy's got potential. That's like a little...
Double bicep.
Another 20 pounds, and that's close. That's Sean Roden mold. He is. Look at his physique. Really look closely. Look at the structure. I mean, obviously he needs more size, obviously. But if you look at the lines, the structure, the balance, look at that. That front last bit, that's a fantastic shot. Roy takes that one.
Side chest.
Roy takes that one. I think this is Morgan's shot. Look at that. What do you think of Morgan's tan?
Yeah, he's a bit more.
Doesn't he?
Back double bicep.
He's a bit... The tan's...
Looks like it's top heavy and bottoms up. Not.
Yeah, there's no tan on his legs. No one's...
Somebody needs firing.
Maybe it's that same girl that messed up Mohammed's tan backstage and said he was okay, give him the thumbs up. I can't decide. I think the most polished there is Roy. I think he's better than Ann. I think that's a better physique. That's a better stage physique. Ann's thicker, but Roy's like he's got clean separation and good symmetry.
Yeah.
Abdominals.
And then you got Morgan. This Camilo guy's good as well. He's not really standing out for me though. Not next to a monster like Morgan, even though Morgan doesn't have the prettiest structure.
His favorite, most muscular.
But okay, let's have a look at this. Here we are, Morgan now. Come on, guys. You look half asleep. Seriously, you're in like second, third call out at the bloody New York Pro, and you're just like, Here we go, final call out now. Now we're cooking. Look at Nick. Yeah. He was there to fight when Here he is. Look. There's the guy who's psyched up. I love that frontal bicep. That reminds me of Dorian Yates, actually.
Front double bicep.
Nah, looks like Jay Cutler to me.
Jay Cutler, Dorian Yates. Well, that's not a bad bodybuilder to be compared to, is it really?
Front lat spread.
Hassan seems to... Is he fading or is he... Yeah, come on. He's
slowly going.
They're not... Are they really fighting for their posing? I mean, you see... Watch the 2018 Olympian. You see guys like Phil Heath and the way that they pose and... You know, Rami at the Olympia last year. Then you really, really see guys that really fighting for it. Because it does make a difference. Sorry, did you say something?
Back double bicep.
Oh, I thought you heard so. It must be. I'm hearing voices in my head. Okay, who would you give this one to? No, this is. I tell you what, that's Justin's shot, isn't it? Or is that Nick's?
Back lat spread.
I would give that to Nick because his hamstring and calf detail. He's more dug out. Justin. Now this week, this pose last week was on Justin was much more impressive.
Tricep.
And also, Nick's not getting his scapula out when he's doing his rear lat spread. Watch it. Yeah, side tricep was more impressive for me last year. Hassan's very impressive. I like Hassan's side chest. Ab and thigh. Now, this was a bad shot for Hassan last year. You couldn't see any of his abs when he was hitting the pose. But now, see? You can actually see his abs. Here we go. God, look at... See, the Nick's just... Like his arms, his abs, his quads. Everything's just alive, you know? Look at him. Go on, guys. Yeah. Justin definitely looked better the week before, but even if he'd... I don't know. That's the question, isn't it? Even if he had have been... Even if he'd have brought his Indy Pro look, would he still have beaten Nick? I don't know. It would have been more of a fight. Whoa, that's it, Justin. Yeah, Justin's getting psyched. I love seeing that. That's what you want to see. It gets the crowd going, you know? And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined for this update interview with the big general, Dwayne Walker.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, my brother. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
How the devil are you, mate? We haven't spoken in ages.
That's true. That's true. I'm doing well. I'm blessed. I'm pretty much focusing on my career as a bodybuilder and focusing on accomplishing other stuff throughout my whole life. You know what I mean? So, and things are going according to my plans. I'm accomplishing my goals, and things seem to be on schedule for me. So I'm pleased with that. With how things are running.
Good. Well, I wanted to get you on because we're all so excited to see you come back this year because there was so much buzz around you last year. You know, you got third. Yeah. It was third at the Tampa, and you had some really good placings. And then Indy Pro last week, you came back. Your upper body was even bigger, wider, freakier. And mate, I'm a little bit baffled, mate. I mean, I don't want to bash the judges because they do a great job and they have a very tough job to do. But I'm a bit confused because in the lead up, I was kind of thinking this guy's going to be top 3. He's going to be a contention for the win. And I don't understand what happened. So what do you think? Tell us, take us through it.
All right. I personally, I'm not sure what would have led to me being placed ninth. I'm not a judge. I'm not trained or certified as a judge. But based on my understanding as to the criteria of being a bodybuilder and what you're supposed to take to the stage on the day, I thought myself and my team, we did a pretty good job at doing that. I thought we had more strengths than weaknesses, especially compared to the other athletes in the lineup. I thought I had more strengths than weaknesses versus those other guys. So for me personally, I don't think ninth was a fair placing on my behalf at all.
It wasn't, mate. It wasn't. No, I disagree with it.
Yes, sir. So we do know that we have work to do. We do understand that we have weaknesses. We do understand that we can always be better and come much improved. However, I think all round at the Indy Pro, I think we brought an all round package.
Yep.
I thought we brought a package that we had everything covered based on my opinion, based on my knowledge of what the sport represents and what the sport is. I thought we had that covered. So I'm not myself and my team were disappointed. We put a lot in this prep. We had a lot of struggles. We sacrificed a whole lot. So it's disappointing not to walk away with something in hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's but we'll be back though. We definitely will be back.
So I mean, you definitely. As soon as you walked out, I was like, well, the upper body's even bigger. Like your shoulder width. I mean, me and Ron talked about it, and we were talking about another competitor. I forget who it was now, but Justin Rodriguez's shoulder width. And Ron Harris said
that guy is wide.
Yeah, he's wide. He's so wide. Yes, sir. I mean, he's like he's like a jumbo jet, like yourself from the back. He's so, and it's like, and Ron said if you watch the last episode, episode 17. He said the only one that had kind of shoulder width and overall width that much as Justin was Dwayne Walker. He said it was just like, he said he couldn't figure out what happened either. So so how much heavier than you were last year? What was the weight difference?
I think there was at least like a 5-pound weight difference at this show versus 5 pounds more.
Yeah.
Than I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So why did you not decide to do the New York Pro? I was surprised when you told me you weren't doing it.
Based on the critiques I've been getting, was that I need to be bigger and I need to improve my legs and I need to be overall bigger. I compete roughly around 230. Yeah. 225, 230. I'm told ideally I should be at least like 240 to really match up to the size of the other guys and improve on my legs. And I was thinking that 2 weeks, there's not much I can do within 2 weeks to bring that change to the stage for the New York Pro.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that it would be the same outcome
Okay.
Going to
Okay.
New York Pro.
Yeah.
Based on the constant. The feedback is the same.
Yeah.
It has been the same. So I was thinking that probably I should take some time, try and get my weight up, improve on my individual body parts some more, and come back with some improvements versus going through the year doing the shows and getting the same feedback and the same placing.
Right.
Understand? Yeah.
So
that was my thinking.
So you're not going to do the Cali Pro?
It's.
Are you thinking about it?
I do enjoy competing. That much I must say.
Yeah.
I do enjoy competing, and since turning pro, I turned pro September 2018. I haven't taken a year off. I just went right into my pro debut, right into my pro years and season, because I do enjoy competing and I want to compete.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of debating between myself. Should I take a year off to really make some very good improvements, or should I continue competing as I am right now? Because I'm not bad. I'm not far off from where the criteria is. So it's something I'm really debating with. So I'm not so certain. What do you think?
I'm sat here going through how much time it would take for you to be able to, like, say if you did a show in August or September that was a qualifier for the Olympia this year, whether you could actually make any the improvements you feel necessary for your physique to be able to try and make it to the Olympia this year, or whether you do a show around September, October to qualify for next year's Olympia, or whether you shut it down completely and say, come back this time next year and come back, with thicker legs and maybe 5-10 pounds heavier again. Okay, guys, sorry about a bit of a lighting issue there. We had to adjust. So, sorry, I was saying, so we were talking about whether you take a year off or whether you compete later in the year. So you're basically torn between competing again this year or taking a full year off. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So
I'm torn between the two. Yeah.
So what are you sort of swinging more towards?
I'm kind of swinging more towards taking some time off.
Okay.
I'm swinging more towards that.
I'll be honest, I really was hoping that you'd do like either the New York Pro or the Cali, because my feeling is that lightning wouldn't strike twice and you wouldn't get a placing that low, because like for me, in terms of your physique, your upper body was bigger and it's just your legs weren't that much bigger than last year. It's not that there was... So for me, there was more of a disparity. Okay, sorry, guys, we had a actual connection issue this time, not lighting issue. Sorry. So you're saying what are you swinging more towards then, mate?
I'm swinging more towards taking some time off for the rest of the year.
Yeah. And
probably compete next year around this time. Next year, Indy Pro again. Next year, New York Pro around this time next year. Yeah. So
the other option is maybe shut it down, because you said you'd like competing, and then maybe compete towards the end of the year. Do you think?
Yes, sir. So, are you aware of the date of the Cali Pro?
Is it this weekend? Isn't it?
That definitely can't be doing that. I can't be doing that at Cali Pro. Yeah.
Well, there's we've got the UK Arnold, which is a qualifier for next year's Olympia. That's that's 2 weeks before this year's Olympia.
Yeah. So something like that, I could look into.
Mm-hmm.
I could look into something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if you didn't win that show, you could probably get a decent amount of points for next year.
Points. Yeah, that would be a big deal. That would be a good start for next year. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you watch the live stream of the New York Pro?
Yes, I did watch the New York Pro. That was a good show. It was a really competitive show. Justin and Nick, impressive athletes. Very impressive athletes.
Who'd you have winning?
I had Nick winning. Yeah, he edged Justin in some areas. That was evident. But they're both good athletes. Yeah, it could go either way. I'm pleased with the judging. Yeah,
no, Nick looked fantastic. I thought Justin looked 2%, 3% better last week. For me, he just looked slightly fuller,
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. So how's life been anyway, mate? So you've moved from Jamaica to Florida. How's it going?
Yes, sir. It's been going very well. I have no issues. My transition has been very smooth. No struggles. I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
I have a family. I have a good coaching team. That's pretty much my family.
Mm-hmm.
They look out for me. They ensure that I'm okay, no issues. So the transition has been very good. I do miss home though, because I still have relatives, I still have family and friends in Jamaica. So hopefully by the end of this year, when I'm a personal trainer, so when the gym gets a little bit less busy,
yeah,
I'll be able to travel and visit some friends and family. And seeing that the COVID has been a little bit more, it's been easy to travel now without much restrictions. So I'm hoping to visit home in December thereabout.
Good. Well, it's because Florida's kind of the most easiest in terms of the COVID restrictions, isn't it?
That's true. That's correct. We have no restrictions right now. No quarantine. No curfew. Pretty much, some places require that you wear your mask. It's mandatory that you wear your mask, which I'm hearing it won't be mandatory in a couple of days to come. So we're very lenient with that. We're very cool with that.
I'm actually sad about that, mate, because you look kind of cool training in your mask.
I probably keep wearing a few of them just for content creation.
Wow, honestly, mate, I was looking at your Instagram and I was thinking, do you know what? If it wouldn't be as cool if you didn't have the mask.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I must still use some of them in some content creation, though.
Yeah, I like your posts actually, mate. I like them. You can see they're quirky in there, they're funny in. You can see you put quite a lot of. There's a lot of swag, you know.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Yeah.
That's correct. That's the intention.
Yeah.
That's one of my intentions.
Have you actually got a Bane mask? I think that'd be quite cool to train in.
Yeah, I have one of those as well.
Oh, nice. Where's that?
And I have some new stuff, so you'll be seeing them soon.
Nice. So, what in terms of like sort of promotion and stuff like that? Are you doing any more YouTube videos or any collaborations? Or because I'd like to see you collaborate with some Dwayne Kwame would be cool. The two Dwaynes.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Like that. That's the 212 guy, right?
Yeah. I could see you two doing some cool content together. Yeah. Two Dwaynes.
And hopefully, Blessing is also in Florida.
Okay.
Blessing is in Florida. Rough Diesel is in Florida.
Yeah.
Terrence.
Okay.
Derek is also in Florida. So those guys are pretty much close by. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can reach out and we connect and we create some content for YouTube and Instagram.
Hang on a minute. I thought Rough Diesel was from Canada.
Rough Diesel? No, I think Rough Diesel is located in Tampa. I think he's in Tampa side.
When did
That's Terrence. Terrence Rough.
Yeah,
I don't think he was ever Canadian.
Hang on a minute.
He was never Canadian.
I'm sure he's from Canada.
Let me Instagram.
he's gonna Google it now.
No, I think you have it mixed up.
Okay.
Terrence Rough Diesel.
Terrence Ruffin, yeah. Why have I got Toronto in my head? No, because he did the Toronto show. What am I talking about? Yeah. No, okay.
I think he's based in Tampa.
Okay.
I think that's where he's based. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Terrence, and I like Terrence. We're cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of Derek. Derek has a really nice physique. I like Derek's physique, and he's cool as well. So those and Blessing. Mm-hmm. So we could connect and based on their schedule and my schedule, hopefully we can create some really good content.
I think
fun stuff.
I think you and Blessing would be cool.
Yeah, we can I'll reach out to him next week, see how his schedule is like. So what his schedule is like, if his plans are doing any more show for the year. If not, we could connect and do some really good stuff.
I hope, going on to obviously talking about Blessing, I hope he's okay because he was getting murdered on social media the last couple of days. What's your feelings on that?
I don't think it would affect him though. I think going into the shows and the beef he created and everything, I think he knew he could go either way. And I think he was prepared for it to go either way. And he's a comedian, he's a funny guy. I don't think he's someone who takes things personal and lets it gets to him. So I don't think it will really affect him in a negative way. Because I'm sure he knows the show could have gone either way, whether him winning, losing, or not doing well. So I thought he was prepared for whatever the outcome was.
The thing is, I think
I did see the comments though.
Yeah, they're brutal, aren't they? They're brutal.
Yeah.
I think because of the way he kind of came into kind of stardom or whatever you want to call it in terms of sort of publicity, it was he's kind of got a lot of the, not so much the bodybuilding fans, but more the general public type people following him. So when you build that kind of hype, I feel like these people probably don't compete, maybe just do a bit of weight training. They don't actually know how much it takes. You know, if you imagine taking 4 years off and the weight of the expectation from all this promotion and marketing and following and all these videos. And then, I mean, for me, 29 years old, pro debut, I think if you look at based upon how he did at the night show at the Indy Pro, I think he's off to a fantastic start. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And guess what? Blessing has, I like his physique. I think he has a really good physique. And it's his pro debut. So I thought probably he bit off more than he could chew. Not really knowing what really to expect with a pro show versus what he's used to at the amateur level. Yeah. Because at the pro level, you're going up against the best of the best. And what I've experienced is that you don't know who's coming to these shows. So you can't train for one individual ever. You can't ever prepare for a pro show training for one individual because you don't know who's coming to the show. Yeah. And the guy who you least expect might be the guy who surprises you and win that show. So I think his focus was too much on one individual and not just the show entirely on itself. And he was focused on too much other stuff. Yeah. Versus just him and the show. And he beat up more than he could chew, I think. So I think he didn't know what to expect really going into these shows. So he got caught off guard really, I think.
But you know what? For a pro debut, taking third place.
No, that's a big deal.
Yeah, 29. I just think. I mean, let's talk about if you know your history and you know how Ronnie Coleman started, how Nasser El Sambati started. It was Ronnie for the first 2 or 3 years was barely getting called out at small pro shows. You know, and I think if you get guys like Flex Wheeler and, the Nick Walkers and the Hunter LeBrons who are coming in winning their first pro show. And then you get guys like, for me, third place in your pro debut with good sponsors behind you and you've moved to another country. I think it's a win, mate. I think it's really good.
It's a big deal. And
it is.
And he has tons of potential because he has a really good physique. And his frame can stack a whole lot of muscle, a whole lot more of muscle, and he can really grow into being a really good bodybuilder. So, third at a pro debut is a big deal. Yeah. That's something to celebrate. Something to celebrate.
And I think he panicked for the New York Pro and tried to fill out too much, and it went kind of the water went subcutaneous, not intramuscular, didn't it? That's what I'm
saying. So, he's new to the thing. He's new at the pro level. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of variables. There's so much stuff that they can slip up on that can ruin the entire package. And I think it's something him and his team is going to still be figuring out for a while.
And the thing is with these people who are making these comments, probably most of them aren't proper true bodybuilding fans who've never competed or really know the sport inside out.
No.
They just have
the opportunity to comment. That's it.
Exactly. Plus, and let's talk about the actual bodybuilding fans themselves. You know how fickle they can be. When you took third at Tampa, everyone's like, Dwayne this, Dwayne that, and then it's ninth place at Indy, and it's like it goes quiet. And then you could have done something different for the New York Pro or the Cali if you'd have done it. Yeah. And then they're like, yay, Dwayne Walker's amazing, and it's like it's a pendulum.
Exactly.
Fickle.
So it's important. So when you're in media, sports, entertainment, you have to be prepared for stuff like this. It comes with the territory. Yeah. So you have to be very prepared. You have to expect it all.
Yeah, I mean, I remember shows when Kevin Arone got like 8th at the Arnold Classic, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's done," and then he comes back. Like Sean Ray took 5th at one Arnold Classic, and they're like, "Sean's done," and then he goes and gets 2nd at Olympia and nearly beats Dorian Yates. Yeah, there's such a sport where, because thing is, I honestly keep saying it, but I think until you've actually competed, which I have, and obviously you have, I don't think you realize how things can sort of. There's so many variables of carving up and drying out, and
a lot of yes, sir.
Muhammad Elamam's placing 4th place, I think, was cost by his tan at the pre-judging, which I messaged him and said
something as simple as that. Something as simple as that. Your tan. Yeah. Something as simple as that. The rest you get the night before, how many carbon up you did, you pump up. Yep. You drank enough water, you pulled enough water, all of those stuff. So much variables, yeah? I know. Just being nervous.
Yeah, exactly. Cortisol, yeah.
Before going on stage, all of those stuff are factors.
I mean,
all of those are factors.
Like sometimes I've seen these bodybuilders and they get to the Olympia and they get, I think they get so overawed, they end up, they don't look as good, and then they go and do some smaller show and they look absolutely incredible. And you think, why are they? Because it's the gravity of it, isn't it?
And then guess what? Sometimes you travel out of state.
Yeah.
So you fly to an entire different state. It's not your hometown, so no one there knows you. You're posing on stage, and then the audience is so quiet because nobody knows you. So nobody's cheering. You're probably not the most popular bodybuilder, so you have nobody reacting to you posing on stage, and you're thinking like, am I doing good enough? Nobody's cheering, nobody's supporting. So all of those stuff can affect you.
Yeah. Dwayne, I'm going to say this now on camera. If you want to come and do the Arnold UK, fly into Manchester and you can come and stay at mine, and I'll drive you down to the show and take you there. All right, sir. That's on camera.
Activity to the show. All right.
If you want to do it and you want to come over, come and stay at mine, and we'll look after you and we'll take you down to the show, and hopefully you can get qualification for next year's Olympia. But if you want to do that, the offer's there, mate.
All right, my brother. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
So
big time.
I've got a treadmill here.
All right.
I've got my girlfriend's pink dumbbells.
Yeah.
Which I'm not using at the moment. So
I'll be training with that show in mind, though. I'll be training with that show in mind.
Okay.
And definitely be working on making some much needed improvements. I don't want to be overlooked anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be hearing I should have been placed here, and I should have been doing that, or I should have had that instead of this. And so I'm hoping, and I'm training with the intention that the next show I have everything covered.
Yes.
And I'll be undeniable. I can't be overlooked. So
I mean,
until you see me again,
because it won't take a lot to get that. Because there was so much. I mean, look, remember all those YouTube shows and everyone was raving about you last year, all the review shows, and they were bringing up footage, going, "My God, look at this guy's shoulder width, look at it. He's just the condition. This guy's got so much potential." I think we've got to get that. You've got to get that back in your favor,
Definitely, it will. I will definitely get that, because even the predictions leading up to Indy Pro, I was in the top 3 for the predictions, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Feeling good, you know what I mean? I still have some momentum going into this show. And myself and my team will always pride ourselves on going complete to these shows.
Yeah.
Conditioning, definition, showing nice lines through the entire body, a good presentation, a good posing routine, all of those stuff. I ensure that my tan is perfect. So, as I said, I'm not a judge. I'm not certified as a judge, but I truly think I had more going for me than against me at the Indy Pro. I shouldn't have been placed 9th.
No, 100%. Very rarely.
I had too much stuff that I need to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had way more stuff going for me than the other athletes, and yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
Come on, mate. This is just a little test. This is a little test because everything was Dwayne Walker, this, Dwayne Walker that last year. It was to be honest, after last season, it was you and Hunter. Everyone was talking about you and Hunter, and it was just so much. There was so much like sort of hype around you guys, and I think this is a little test to see what you're made of. And I would love to see you do another show in 2021, and I would love to see you either win a show or get enough points so you know that you've got a good chance to qualify for the 2022 Olympia, and you can really bring the best version. Because how old are you now? You're just still young, aren't you?
I'm 30.
Oh, you're a baby.
I'm 30, so
big baby. Right, okay then, Dwayne. Well, I wanted to get you on, mate, because we don't just, you know what I mean? I want to support you when you're having these, because I don't want you thinking, do you know what I mean, anything negative, because you're so good, and there's so much, it's like, I don't want you thinking you're lesser than you are, do you know what I mean, just from one placing do you know what I mean, because you're good, and I think we want the best for you, and we want to see you back up there, and I just wanted to check how you were doing, and just maybe we can get a plan of action for 2021.
Thank you. I appreciate you reaching out in a time like this, for real.
All right, then,
but I'm not on a high right now, and you still thought that you should interview me and have me in your program. So I appreciate that.
100%, mate. Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. But like I said, I'll keep an eye on you on Instagram and keep up with that, and also do some collaborations with Blessing and Dwayne Q. I think would be cool, and Derek Lunsford would be good. Yeah. And
yes, I'm gonna reach out to a few of them.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can fit me in their schedule and we make something happen.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
Yes, sir.
All right, then, Dwayne Walker, big general. I will see you very, very soon, mate.
Yeah, peace and love, my brother.
Take care, mate. Bye. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined one day after the New York Pro, John and Renee Jewett.
Hello. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. What is it, 9 a.m. over there?
It is.
Yes.
9 a.m. Personally been up for about 4 hours just because we went out and ate so much food and don't sleep that great. So got up early, we took some walks, went to a coffee shop. Still haven't eaten yet because still full from last night.
I saw last week after the Indy Pro, you were eating quite a few cookies.
Yeah, like we're post-show, we're into sushi and definitely cookies and ice cream. So, not too like original, but that's what we like. So
nice. Well, I watched the live stream last night on this TV. I didn't realize it was actually hooked up. So we were sat in here in the studio watching the live stream. What a fantastic show. How'd you feel?
I felt really good. About what I brought definitely was improved from Indy. I think the conditioning was the same, and I was a touch fuller.
Yes.
And man, there's not much I could say looking back through everything. Like, oh man, I really missed the mark here or there. So walking off stage, it's like, man, I brought the best I think I could for that day. And I can walk away happy with that, especially with going in with a big part of it being like, hey, coaching myself to this high level.
Yeah.
Being having something that I can respect coming off stage and what I put on.
Yeah.
And I did that. So there's a lot of things that I did that are wins personally for me, although it's not like the first place, but that's the one thing out of your control, right? So you have to be able to have the right perspective to take it away for the areas you did win. And of course, look, here's my trophy.
so
He never walks away empty-handed.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing I want to talk about was the posing routine.
Right on.
Absolutely fantastic. That's the one, I think that's probably the only posing routine I'll remember from the New York Pro, to be honest.
Thank you. And that was a big part of it. Like I'm very into routines and bringing like art and athleticism back into posing, and you don't see many just 212 open bodybuilders. You do, but still, like giving a memorable routine where you're like, man, you get excited or you connect with something at some level. Like as a kid, Mortal Kombat was my game. That it came out, in the 90s, early, and that was like a huge influence. So to have this movie come out and that theatrical like music come on and like to pose to it, it was super cool, right?
Renee, did you pick the music for him? Be honest.
Honestly, I did find the music for him.
Yeah.
And we about trying to do like he's doing a guest appearance posing in is it August?
Yeah, in August.
In August.
And I had the idea like, hey, we should go out and both do it like a wellness bodybuilder.
Like a pose off to the Mortal Kombat song.
To Mortal Kombat, and like we can have like our like outfits, like that would be so unique. You don't see stuff done like that anymore.
Well, I saw the Instagram post, and I because obviously when I heard the music, Lauren, my partner, she says, Mortal Kombat. And I went, is it? And then all of a sudden it went, Mortal Kombat. And I was like, right, okay. But you know what? That was kind of, I mean, in the 90s, that would have been a standard routine. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
But now it really stands out because let's be honest, the standard of posing isn't that great anymore. So you really put a proper, it was kind of like Lee Labrada level choreography.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's a huge compliment. He's an excellent poser, but I try to put a lot of effort into it. I think at this level, everything you do on that stage needs to be at a professional level. Put that much effort in, going all, because that's what you're going to do on stage. It's like, I made the analogy of like, it's like going to play at the NBA Finals and never dribbling the ball, right? Like what you're actually going to do on court, you don't practice that skill to deliver at a high level. It's like we are posing. You have to be phenomenal at your posing and present. And so at the pro level, you professional off stage, on stage, it all needs to be encompassing.
So Renee, from obviously you were both at the Indy Pro and the New York Pro. How different and why what were the noticeable differences from the Indy Pro to the New York Pro for John, for you?
Gosh, I try and be so unbiased, right, when I'm sitting there and looking at everybody. I think at both Indy and New York, his conditioning was just as good. Arguably, I would say it was just a little bit better here in at the New York Pro, but he did come in a little bit fuller as well. So it was just I thought it was an awesome look.
I think the fullness with the muscle pushing more against the skin, you maybe see more of the detail.
Appearance.
Yeah.
The live stream, like I watch it and it gives no justice.
It really doesn't. And the
picture, really?
No.
I mean, all of us are. You look so much sharper in person. Like those fine details, you don't catch on the live stream or in pictures. So I see people judging it like, people say John got robbed, or I hate hearing that shit. Takes away from the other athletes, but to see it in person, it's such a different thing to really capture how conditioned someone really is or everything. So she sees it. I come off stage, I don't get to see it. You're on stage, and she's like, the details was crazy in the conditioning.
And then we came back and we watched the live stream, and I was watching it with him, and I was like, this does nobody any justice, honestly. Like, coming from seeing it in person and then seeing it on the computer, I was like, I can't even watch this because I already saw, it in real life, and this just doesn't do it any justice.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were improved from Indy too. Like we all came in a little bit better. And I don't know if you want to get into that now, but I could, give you thoughts on that lineup.
No, tell me, because I'm thinking right now I'm thinking about when you posted on your Instagram saying you were 207. Was that 207 pre-carb up, or when was that?
That was about walking onto stage.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, around 207. At Indy, I was probably closer to the 205 mark. So, looking at 2 pound difference, which doesn't sound like much, but 2 pounds of fullness goes a long way.
Yeah.
It could be the difference. A pound could be the difference between looking flat and smooth versus having a pop.
Yeah.
So I saw some of the critiques that people were saying, like, "Oh, John looked like he, came conditioned for Indy. But he sacrificed. Maybe was a little bit flat." But again, I think when you look at these pics, it doesn't. It smooths you out and doesn't show what you're truly there, because there was good detail in Indy. But I would say, like, I could have been fuller and even given up on some of the conditioning, because there's a trade-off there,
Yeah.
You want to come a little fuller, you might lose a little bit off the backside. Then who are you going to stand against? Is it guys that aren't as conditioned as you? Well, hell, maybe you should push the fullness up more. But I love the look I bring it really hard. I think that's such a cool
old
look.
School. It's old school.
Yeah, it shows man, that guy, he worked, and it's a rare thing. Everybody could come full to a show and not in shape. So,
mate, you were in condition like 4 or 5 weeks out. But I'll be honest. My first observations when I saw pictures from the Indy Pro was I saw more going on in your legs. I think it was a frontal bicep. You were slightly angled, and it looked like there was more layers, if that makes sense, to your legs. And your readable bicep, there was more going in, just more overall detail. The only one where I thought, especially at the prejudging at the Indy, where I thought you were flat, was in your side chest. That was where you could see where you weren't as full as you could be.
Yeah, I lose it in my pec. That's like a weak body part for me, so it flattens out quick. Usually when I'm assessing, in the mornings I'll get up, I'll hit some front lat spreads and the side chest. I'm like, okay, do I have cross striations in my pecs? If not, then I'm like, okay, this is flat. But usually that's the first to see it, or in my traps too. It will go as well. So
let's talk about the 2019. Let's go right back, because your career best was your 4th place at the 2019 Olympia in the 212. What were you weighing there then? Because I'm just trying to get a gauge for how much you've progressed.
Yeah. So let's see that for Olympia. I know I weighed in right at weight, but most of us are weighing in clothed and whatnot.
Yeah.
I believe I woke up at 210 or 211.
Oh wow.
For the morning Olympia, which here I was waking up at this morning, like for New York, I woke up at 205.
Yeah.
So I did come down quite a bit, but I would say I'm more conditioned here. So, and I guess you have to weigh it in too. Like the Olympia is different because you weigh in the morning.
Yeah.
Versus having to weigh in the evening here. So what you have to do regarding that is a little different for everyone. But I would say that, yeah, I'm lighter than I was for the Olympia. But I would say for Tampa, my weight's pretty reflective the same because my low weight that I hit for Tampa in 2019 was 205. So I'm still been roughly around this same mark. I would say, I had a shorter off season, but it wasn't as productive as I wanted it to be. Mm-hmm. And where my weight falls here, I'm like, hey, I have some area where I could add a little bit of tissue. And maybe those spots that you see go flat quicker, mm-hmm. add muscle there to where, even if you're getting a little flat, you still have the tissue there to hold some fullness.
Renee, when would you say was the best version of John in the last couple of weeks? Was it at the night shows or the judgings of either shows? When would you think, yeah, this is close to his absolute best?
I would say yesterday at the evening show was his absolute best that I've seen him.
Yeah.
He just had this sharpness and fullness that I mean, he always looks great when he steps on stage, but last night I felt like it was the best that I've seen.
Yeah. So what was your feelings on how the call-outs were going? When do you think, oh shit, is he going to win this? Or what was your feelings on how he was going to fare yesterday? Where did you think he was going to place?
Gosh, if I'm being on, and like I said, I try and be unbiased and look at the lineup, but I honestly thought he was taking it. I really did. So when he got called for second, it was.
That one hurt. It hurt.
Oh, I was really rooting for you because like Nathan Epler, I find fantastic physique, and he's kind of he looks good in every angle. You can see his back and his arms need a little bit of thickening, but he's kind of good from every angle. And I really was impressed with Nola Dam. I was thinking because I know he's kind of an unusual shape, but he's got such freaky legs, freaky chest.
Yeah.
I was so impressed by him, and I was literally just going back and forth, and then I was seeing the improvements that Derek Osland had made, and I was thinking, I just couldn't decide where. I thought the top three was pretty clear, but I just couldn't. I kept watching and looking at pictures, and I was just thinking, oh shit, John takes a readable bicep, and and then Nathan looks great in the side chest, and then you had Nola Dam in every side shot, completely, absolute freak of nature. Wow, it was incredible, wasn't it?
Muscle. Noel improved a lot from Indy to here. I think he tightened up a lot.
Yeah.
In so many of these shots, you see, I think in his front shots kind of hurts him because he's a little bit more he could be blocky from the waist. But
yeah, it's structure, isn't it?
Side shots, it's mind-boggling ham drop and ground delt, and so. I think those other shots sets him back. Even Derek Osland, he came in a lot tighter. He has phenomenal shape and structure, and just a beautiful physique. If he just gets super hard, he could beat us. He's beaten me before. Nathan is just very well round. He really is. I think he came in tried to come in slightly tighter for this show. I think based off of Indy because I was tighter. But I think he maybe came in a little bit flat up top.
Oh, really? What for the New York? For New York?
For New York.
I thought he looked fuller.
Yeah, but for finals, I think he did get some fullness back.
Okay.
This is just
Yeah.
Seeing him.
Well, you're there.
But it seems like his glutes were more pulled in, had more detail in them, which I'm thinking, okay, maybe they had that to sacrifice a little bit of fullness up top. I mean, just all around the guy, great symmetry, structure. I mean, very comparable between us. And I talked to Bill, the judge, afterwards.
Yeah.
He's like, man, it was so close. It was like this 1 point difference between y'all. He's like, he gave me some critiques on my rear lat spread, said that pose kind of hurt me. But he's like, some judges had you, John, but as an overall, that it came down to picking Nathan. So it was truly that close, and it felt that close too. Nathan was very, very, very good and a very great guy off stage. We didn't have people helping us oil up. I oiled Nathan, he oiled me.
Cool.
We were borrowing bands from each other. It's a cool camaraderie amongst the 212. So just all around, it's nice having great guys to compete with.
Yeah. So Renee, were you obviously excited about the wellness? What did you think about that?
I didn't get a chance to watch it in person, but I did watch the live stream.
Okay.
Which I'm really excited for it. I'm excited for my pro debut. So.
Yeah, I like that they're going with the slight harder look, because I think some girls came in soft thinking they want soft, and it's like, no. And so what they're rewarding, I think Renee will favor really well with.
Yeah.
And so now it's like focus to her. She'll be doing hers in 6 weeks.
Sorry, I see what you're getting at now, because your conditioning, especially around your abs, or the vascularity in your abs, because yesterday I was looking and I was thinking, because I head judge wellness a couple of times for the Pro League a couple of years ago and in the UK, and it's like, at first they were kind of, I don't want to use the word out of shape figure girls, but that's kind of what the initial look was, because it takes a couple of years for any category to find its footing. Yeah. But yesterday, like, I thought the like everyone looked proper wellness. I thought, and I loved the look Urishna brought. I thought she was, for me, I was glad she won. I could see it was very close. For me, top to toe, I think she was more complete. So you've hinted there at your pro debut. Can you tell us when it is?
Yes, I will be doing the Bahama Pro, which it's actually the Puerto Rico Pro that got moved to Bahamas. Okay. And that's going to be in 6 weeks. So. Wow.
So I see things flickering in your shoulders there. So how you feeling? Yeah. I'm sorry. You're excited with the show muscle.
Definitely a little bit ahead of schedule. So.
Yeah, she's ahead, and that was kind of the plan too, because I had my shows. Like, she's going to be traveling with me. It's like, well, we can push hard, and then if it's more of a maintenance time while you're at my show. But that hasn't even been the case. Usually she like jumps forward while I'm traveling. Then she's gone out with me post show and still eats all the stuff that I eat. And then she's like hits a new body weight low. I'm like, Jesus, okay. Well, I was like, maybe I was like, I think we should do an earlier show. But she's like, no, let's wait. I'm like, okay.
Because of course you coach your wife Renee, don't you?
Yeah. I do.
Cool. So
Number one coach.
She's biased.
Yeah, it works out great. Like, we don't have that confliction between like your husband giving you critiques versus is it your coach? It's like, hey, I need to like work on this area, and it's not like, oh, what are you calling me? Like I don't have glutes, or are you telling me fat over my waist? Like, no. So she's really good about separating coach feedback from like the what I do as a husband. So
yeah.
So our aspect works great together, and plus I'm with her daily, just like me coaching myself. Like I can be the most detailed, meticulous with myself. Same with her. So I can use her feedback daily to monitor her.
So how would you say her physique has changed in the last year? Because how many is it? 2 shows you've done?
Three shows last year. Yeah. I did my national qualifier and then 2 national shows.
Yeah.
And got my pro card at the 2nd national show.
So you're excited for your pro debut?
I am excited. I am excited for it. Yeah. Nervous.
You look nervous. You'll do great. And I think I'm so glad that you decided to do that category, because I think looking at your physique, I think wellness is definitely the way forward. And the thing is, it's absolutely exploding right now, because I've heard about I had J.M. Mannion on the other week, and he was saying about the entries. We said for the first year were higher than the figure or something, or bikini, and like at a bit like the Pittsburgh show. He said the entries were just unbelievable. He said it's popular. He said we couldn't have predicted the popularity of this new category.
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably one of the most popular female categories, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, how could it not be, right?
Yeah, in the United States, like there was a huge rise, and like everyone wants like this big butt, right? And it's such a feminine aspect, like the curved hips and not having this overdeveloped upper body, because that starts to lean towards more of a masculine trait, right? So it's very, very feminine, and I think that's why it's drawn this attraction as well. Coming off like the last year, her main critiques was like her upper body was pretty developed, and so for most of the year she hasn't even trained upper body.
Well, you're saying, I don't like this word feminine, because I was doing glute ham hypers yesterday, because I've been pushing my poundages up on my squats now the gyms are open, because it's not just a girl thing, mate.
Yeah, I guess you want a booty too, right? I didn't say that cheek was feminine. Just if you stop training upper body, then we'd be like, all right.
Yeah. So yeah, male wellness. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, John, what is next for you then, mate? Because what shows? What's next?
That's a tough one. There's kind of a maybe ... along the way, but I'm coming off Olympia prep.
Yeah.
I had 20 weeks, so basically like a little 12-week period, then into prep from there.
Yeah. For
this show, and then there's New York. So this has been a long prep period for me, and the idea was like, hey, I'm going to give these 2 shows a run early in the season, and then shut it down whatever happens. And so that's still the plan. I will be done for the year, but
what?
It's I wouldn't do another show. It would be too long of prepping. So this was kind of it for me. I would have 11 points right now.
Yeah.
I would go off points. I'm qualified. I'm qualified.
Yeah.
But if Renee did qualify for Olympia, it would really tempt me to just jump into prep with her and do another show right before the Olympia.
Yeah.
To just seal in the points or a win and try to get out there. I would love to go to Olympia, but I just cannot prep all year long.
Yeah. I didn't even. Do you know what? Because I mean, I saw the pictures of you 2 months ago, and I was like, this guy is looking to because you took 4th place at the 2019 Olympia. Yeah. Last year, was it 14th? 13th. Sorry, I've just dropped you down a place.
16. It doesn't matter.
But to go from 4th to 13th, I just thought I was devastated for you. Okay, guys, sorry, we lost a bit of connection there. Sorry, I was saying, even 8 weeks out from the Indy, I could see you were really looking to redeem yourself after the 2020, Olympia, where you dropped from 4th to 13th.
Oh yeah, that I was nearly disgusted with how I walked on stage. It was unacceptable. 8 weeks out, I knew I was off, and I communicated these things with coach and pushed hard to try to get to the spot I needed to be, and the timeline just became off to where it was unrealistic to get into the shape I needed to be, and it came down to a decision like, gosh, I was telling Renee, should I even do this show? Like, I don't want to walk out there like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's the Olympia. What if that was the last Olympia you ever walk onto? It's like, well, I'd rather do it and have that experience than not do it and have any regrets. So I knew I was going to be off, but coming off that, oh man, I was lit on fire to get back on stage as soon as possible and show everyone the level of standard that I want to bring for conditioning. And that's why I really favored of just, hey, if I'm a little less full, but I want to be absolutely clawed out from the backside and show that early in the season.
Yeah.
So I didn't come all the way up to my full off-season weight so I could do a shorter prep and get back on stage here. But yeah, so I've been fairly conditioned for a good period of time now.
So you're feeling like you're a little bit tired now, maybe to come back next year,
Yeah, I mean, actually, I feel really good and fresh. I just know the idea of okay, if I did another show, then I do Olympia. This ends up being over 40 weeks of being in some type of deficit.
Yeah.
Body fat. And it's like, I feel good, but at the same time, you also have to wonder, could the look fade? And it might. And so as long as I had some type of period where I could have a break and then prep again, which from right now, it's 21 weeks to Olympia. So I could have, 11 weeks of just bringing weight up and kind of some downtime and then prep again for another 10, 11 weeks. And I could definitely do that. So that's in my mind. I'm just going to see where the next 10 weeks go for the contest season with points, how Renee does at her show, if she qualifies, if she doesn't, and that's all kind of going to influence my decision. But to be at the Olympia, I would love to be there. I want that more than anything. So,
Renee, how cool would it be if you both got to the Olympia and made top 5? How cool would that be?
It would be pretty cool, to be honest. That would be amazing. That's the goal.
Yeah, I was on my Instagram post today. I was talking about the experiences and moments are great to have on your own, but when you can share it with someone and they can feel that with you, it's a whole nother level. And so who you're surrounding yourself with and having those moments together there's no value you can assign to it. So to be able to go to the Olympia with her and share all that, oh man, that would be so awesome.
It really would.
If she got qualified, man, I would give my damn hardest to get out there.
If Renee qualifies to the Olympia, which I'm sure she will, you have to jump in another show, or at least, well, hopefully you might get through on points. But you've both, and also, that'd be a very cool video series of you two going to the Olympia. That would be that would be incredible.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Wow, it's not. There's not too many couples that compete like that at that level anymore.
Yeah.
And that have the coaching kind of dynamic that we do. I think it would be great content, great for viewers and people to gain some value out of.
And also pick some good Comic Cons in the run up, so you can get good cosplay. Come on, Renee, who are you going as?
What were your thoughts on New York Pro for my show? I'm sure you had some critiques there, Giles. New
York Pro. Honestly, I kept flip-flopping between all three of you, to be honest. That's the honest truth. Definitely, you're definitely better. They were definitely better than Indy. You could see, because last week, like I said, the side chest and also your frontal bicep at the Indy was just looked a little bit flat, and I was like, no, he needs to. If you can, thing is, it's always that trying to fill out in that next week without kind of overspilling, kind of like Blessing did. He kind of just he tried to overcompensate, and then you end up spilling over and you lose that condition you've spent 20 weeks, working for,
Yeah, so I think, at least with that, and I see it too. So I think like if it was Olympia that happens over these next weeks, trying to fill in those gaps to where maybe the weight does come up a little bit higher. I think you could add some tissue with that time period within chest to where it doesn't fade as much in like your front double or your side chest shots. Yeah, areas to work on.
It's always when you're depleted of it, it always comes off your weakest body part, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When if you deplete that last, you deplete too much or you overdiet, it always comes off those body parts, the weak ones,
Yeah, it's like, so you almost like, do you want that next level of conditioning, but how much are you really gaining versus losing? And you kind of it can be a tough one to weigh out. You start chasing certain variables of like, oh yeah, I just got to be nasty hard, but then you lose so much in one area that ends up hurting you more. So, but
you're in a good spot, mate, because you've still got 5 pounds. If you're 207 on stage, that's like Kamal. Like Kamal was, I forget how many kilos. He said it in kilos, but he still had like at least 6-7 pounds. So it's always good to come, if you're bringing that kind of condition and you've still got 5 pounds to kind of, gain and there's a lot you can do between now and the Olympia. I'd love to see you like weighing at 211.9 and just, everything just popping like your legs were and your back were, everything, just because your symmetry is great. And I'll be honest, I will say it now, myself and Ron Harris, we did have you winning Indy.
I appreciate that.
Well, go on the play-by-play, because we were really shocked. I remember Ron was having fits. He was going crazy out in the wrap-up. He was like, I can't believe John Jewett. But, so, you're third and second, and you're 11 points. You're nearly there, mate.
Yeah, it's close, and I agree with you. And with the Olympia weigh-in being in the morning, if you woke up and you're like, water loss overnight, and you're like 211 right there, then you're walking on stage at that like 213, 214. Like, what a difference would that be? 6-7 pounds. Like that's huge on a 212 guy. That would be pretty phenomenal. And so I would be okay. I'd tell her like, wrapping it up for the year, if that's what ends up happening, I'd have a longer off season to just come back being like the biggest John Jewett that anyone's ever seen, and just shredded to pieces, right? I could accept that.
Yeah, well, sometimes bodybuilders in such a rush, and they're just, sometimes it's better just to okay, maybe I just, on the sake of being 40 weeks on prep, maybe, focus on Renee and, getting her to the Olympia and kind of making sure that she's, you can kind of go back and forth because you support each other. You're obviously clearly people that can prep together, or you can prep in support of each other. It's kind of you can, if you don't make it to the Olympia, you can live it through her on and be the supporting partner, fan, or whatever you want to call it when she's on stage at the first Wellness Olympia.
Yeah, when I'm on, she tells me, like, when you're on stage, I feel like I'm there with you, living it through you.
Yeah.
It's the same. So even though, like, maybe I wouldn't be at Olympia or she's there, we're still living together. But we definitely decided, like, we want to be doing the same show for next year as a call or whatever, because it works out. For one, it'd be fun, but also it works out so much easier. Like, when one of us is in off season, one's prepping, it actually makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, it's so much easier. Like, people assume like prepping together is harder, but for us, it's so much easier when we're on the same schedule. Like, prepping together, being in off season together, it makes it so much easier. You know?
Yeah, you're both like super hungry. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm starving. Like, let's look at food. And when someone's off season, you're like feeling all good. Like, hey, let's go out here. Like, I can't go out. I'm on prep.
Yeah.
So you're like emotionally connected on the same level and kind of disconnected too, because you're on prep. You're just trying to survive. And so, and then off season, of course, you can have all the date nights and everything shared. So when it aligns like that, I think that's how we'll plan it out for next year. This year just got a little screwy with the Olympia we didn't know where it was going to be, and that was part of my decision getting the early show done, because I didn't know where they were going to have the Olympia. They hadn't announced it yet. We didn't know about the wellness shows completely yet, and they haven't released them all. So we just kind of had to, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We'll see how the rest of the schedule lines out. But for 2022, I think we'll have a better idea and be able to align our schedules a little bit better for how we like to prep and do things.
Good. Well, so what's the plan for today? Are you driving home? Because you're from Florida, aren't you? And you're in Florida for the New York Pro.
No, we're actually from Texas.
Oh, sorry. Why do I always think you're in Florida? I always say that every time. Sorry.
We like it here. I can move to Florida. We've talked about it, actually.
It.
But no, we're fine. We're flying home here in a few hours, and be back there until we fly to the Bahamas.
Oh yeah, Renee, straight back on a prep. No more sushi and cookies.
Nope, not for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah. Oh well. Like I said, guys, I want to get you on because I've been following you on the social media and on the live streams and everything, and I was so happy to see you, John, back kind of looking, like you won when you won Tampa and when you got fourth at Olympia. It was so good. Like everyone was just so shocked. I mean, I put you and the shout outs last week, and I went to your Instagram and I said to Carlene, I said, that's what you call a real ham drop. That picture where you're in the background in the hotel room doing the side chest and you're just like, yeah, I'm ready. The tan was going on. I was like, wow, look at that ham drop. I mean, my God, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, those were some cool pics that we grabbed, and it feels good just to have gone off stage. And I feel like I'm leaving the stage with, like, yes, that was a great look for John.
Yeah. Not
that 2020 Olympia. Did John do the Olympia?
We won't talk about that one again. We'll just
right.
We'll admit
it's
that.
Just like it happened.
Right. Okay then, guys. Well, I can let you. Go and get home and back to Texas. And Renee, all the best with your prep for Puerto Rico, isn't it? The Caribbean Pro. What was it called?
They call it the Puerto Rico Pro, but it's in the Bahamas.
Right. So the New York Pro at Tampa, and
Yeah.
I think this is the new norm now. It's the British Grand Prix in Germany, and so it's all a bit topsy-turvy.
We really appreciate you and Ron and all the coverage and what Indy does. Just always giving us a platform to share our journeys, and of course all the kind words. I know if we you truly mean them, and we wouldn't be in your favor, for critiques and everything. So, but regardless, I'm glad that y'all cover it the way you do and are so well versed in all the athletes. It's really appreciative. So thanks again.
Well, it's our pleasure. The thing is, when I say that we said that, you can go and check. You can go and watch the videos, and it's there. And that's why I always make sure, always tell the truth when you got on face-to-face, because if they go and check, and it's like, oh, you look, that item sick, that he was third, and it's like, it gets a bit embarrassing.
I saw Ron. Ron's here. I talked to him, so I know, I verified it in person with him.
Yeah, cool. All right then, guys, I'll let you go, and like I said, all the best with the rest of 2021 now, isn't it? I actually forgot what year it was then.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right then, guys, I'll speak to you very soon.
Okay,
all right.
sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Take care, John and Renee. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, it is Global Muscle Hot News and Shout-Out segment, obviously, for the New York Pro. So, first of all, we will go to Blessing our debut, 1.7 million followers, Boogeyman. Blessing's getting a lot of hate at the moment. And I want to just address that because I've been reading some of the comments on just different Instagram accounts of pictures of Blessing. And I think you all need to chill a bit, basically. Because the guy's 29. He's just took 3rd place and 6th place in his first 2 pro shows, his rookie year. He's 29 years old. And I think I pretty much I can guess what happened. He obviously came a little bit flat, trying to come in really his best condition for the Indy Pro. I thought he looked really, really good at the night show. But it looks like he tried to overcompensate because he was told to come in fuller for the New York Pro, and basically overspilled and just basically, I heard he was eating 1,500 grams of carbs or something. Was it 15,000 calories or something? Yeah, it was something crazy. And obviously the guy just, he was trying to fill his physique out. And I tell you what, unless you've competed, you won't understand that because it is an issue. I've competed myself. And, sometimes you're trying to get that balance right of condition, fullness. It's an art form. And I'm telling you, and he hadn't competed for 4 years. And don't forget, I know there's a lot of expectation on Blessing, much of which was placed on by himself with his, his kind of presence. But I think it's funny because I think most people making these comments are people who've never fucking competed. So I think you guys, I just wonder if social media had been around in the time of Ronnie Coleman, what people would have said about Ronnie Coleman in 1992 when he made his pro debut. But obviously, the thing is, we're in the age of social media now. So these things, guys are trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to build their followings. Blessing does like funny videos, which he's very well known for. He got international news attention, not from his physique, but for the fact he was doing like goofy stuff on camera, which, has kind of elevated him and it's allowed him to move from Ireland to America. And he's obviously on a very good, he's making a good living and everything. So look at that there. I mean, that's what I'm going to take away from this rookie season. I mean, that readable bicep, that was not there. That was not there yesterday at the New York Pro. I mean, he was soft all around here, but look at the condition at the Indy Pro at the night show. That is a very, very, very good pro debut. Don't forget guys like NASA, Ronnie Coleman did not have good. They certainly weren't getting thirds in their first pro shows. But I think give Blessing a couple of years, and I think he's going to be really, really good. I mean, this is a good shot. This is a nice shot. Look at that. Yeah. See, he didn't really bring that to New York, did he? No, he didn't do. No, he didn't. But so what? So what? Let's focus. I'm going to focus on the night show of the Indy because I thought he looked really, really good there. So, it's quite disturbing actually the amount of shit he's getting actually. Look at the structure, Let's have some more pictures. See, there we are. Yeah, see, he spilled over. And the thing is, sometimes you're hoping that the food will absorb in the muscle and make you look fuller. And sometimes if you get it wrong or you mistime it or you eat too much or you overcompensate, you can actually just end up making your physique look watery, your waist look thick, and the muscles don't actually pop. I've done it before. I've did junk loading, and I think it worked. It worked twice, and it worked horribly about 4 or 5 times, and literally 12 weeks of prep went straight down the pan, toilet. But it's a very, very tricky peaking for a bodybuilding show. People don't realize to this level, to the pro level, to get that conditioning and fullness right. I tell you what, it is an art form. So, the people that are criticizing him now, laugh it up because in a couple of years, I think he's going to be great. So I just hope he's okay, because it's tough. It's tough on people sometimes, the expectation and the pressure, the nerves. But here he is here. He's apologizing, which I always feel sad about when they do that. My deepest apologies to you guys because I know a lot of you guys placed your bet on the Boogeyman. I'm truly sorry for letting you all down, but trust me, I'm super. See, yeah, he's feeling like shit. So, but 6th place, sixth place in the New York Pro, which is considered to be the third biggest pro show in the world. In your first year at age 29, not even 30 years old, I think it's good. I think he needs to shut it down now, though. Did he say he's doing Cali?
No, I was on about Mohammed then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think. Is it worth him doing Cali?
No.
Nah, I think he should just focus on what he brought here. That's what we need to focus on, because that's impressive. That's impressive. Imagine him a couple more years with 20 more pounds, even 10.
Do you reckon he would got a better placing if he brought that at the New York?
Oh, at the New York Pro? Yeah, of course he would, yeah. Oh, no, well, he probably would have beat Mohammed. Would he have beat Dorian Hayward? That's a good question, actually. That's a very good question. I don't know. But for one thing for certain, he did not bring it to the New York Pro. But, like I said, he did bring it to the Indy Pro, certainly at the night show. But like I said, guys, peaking for a show, it's a very, very exact science. And I'll tell you what, until you've tried it yourself, maybe need to get a bit more empathy and understanding. But he's at the start of his career, so let's see. Let's reassess this in 2 or 3 years' time, because he's young and he's hungry. Right, okay, this is Yurishna Ayala, who won the wellness at the New York Pro yesterday. I thought she looked absolutely fantastic. I agreed with the win as well. She was going up against Angela Borges, who Angela beat at the Pittsburgh a few weeks ago. So these two are very, very closely matched. But for me, I had Yurishna winning. I thought she looked absolutely tremendous. For me, very, very top to toe. I think the whole wellness look is starting to find its feet now. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, she looks tremendous here. Oh, what's this? Okay. Let's try to. Oh, nope. No sound on this. Yeah, so I don't know, but did she look that much better than Pittsburgh? Because she did look like the winner to me here, and I looked at the score sheets, and she did get straight firsts. So I wonder what really changed between Pittsburgh, with her physique, and also Angela Borges. But how many pro shows is it now? How many shows has Angela won? Because obviously Angela was doing wellness, because wellness has been around in Brazil for many, many years before it hit the Pro League and the NPC worldwide. And I think Angela's done 65 or something. It was something like she's done 66 shows, wellness shows, and she's won 64 of them, or 65 of them. But I think that unless someone really, really special comes out of hiding between now and the Olympia, I can see her and Angela Borges. Look at that. Look at the condition there. I can see this being the top two at the Olympia, the first wellness Olympia in October in Orlando. So, wow, look at the abs. You see, I think when wellness first came along, I think they were saying it was pretty much bottom-heavy figure girls that are 4 weeks out or 6 weeks out. But I'm glad that they're actually focusing on actually proper conditioning, because that's not just conditioning in the lower body. She's got good conditioning in a whole body. And I think she looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really happy she won. There she is with the New York Pro promoter, Steve Weinberger. Quads. Wow, look at that. Shit. Wow. Okay. Yeah, fantastic example of wellness. Yeah, I think her and Angela, they're going to be tough to beat at the Olympia. I can see them being 1 and 2 at the Olympia. Of course, Renee, hopefully if Renee Jewett gets a qualification at the Puerto Rico Pro and she qualifies for the Olympia, then we'll see her at the Olympia as well, because I'm really anxious to see what she brings. But like her husband John said in the interview earlier in this episode, he said that they're glad that the look is good, of a high level of conditioning, because John really, because he preps his wife. Look at this. So, oh wow, there's a trophy. Cool. Okay, that's cool. Okay, here we have a Walt Whitman picture. Okay, yeah, she looks absolutely fantastic. Right, so Yurishna and Angela Borges, I think these are the two that are really going to be in that first and final call out at the Olympia, in the first Wellness Olympia. This is groundbreaking. This is the first year that wellness has ever come along, so in the pro ranks, and obviously the Olympia as well. So no, when was the first wellness? That was it? No. It was last year. It was Alicante. Or was it Romania?
I'm sure it was Romania.
Yeah, they did a pro show then, didn't they? Or was it just amateur? I think, no, the first pro show was Pittsburgh.
First pro was Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the first pro show was Pittsburgh. Now the New York Pro. And now apparently J.M. Mannion said that the entries at the Pittsburgh were out kind of more than the figure. The first year of wellness at the Pittsburgh, they had more females in that class than they did in the figure, which has been around for like donkey's years. So it tells you the popularity. Maybe, do you think it's just because it's a new category or?
Yeah, and also they do look like supermodels, not full-on bodybuilding.
Right. I think sometimes the conditioning in the figure has gone too far, to be honest. And I think bikini is too thin. So this is kind of the happy medium for the girls that.
Will destroy bikini.
Sorry?
It'll destroy bikini.
Do you think? No,
Yeah.
bikini's huge.
It'll destroy it.
Yeah, I don't know if it destroy bikini. I think there's always going to be a market for that. But I don't see it outgrowing bikini. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
United States.
I respectfully disagree. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see in the next couple of years. I mean, no one could have predicted how popular it was going to be from the outset. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see where figure, bikini, wellness, where it all sits in a few years. I mean, originally, women's physique was brought in to replace women's bodybuilding, but women's bodybuilding still managed to continue. So, I don't know. I don't know. And now women's bodybuilding is back at the Olympia, and that's bigger than ever. So, I don't know. You never know what's going to happen, do you? Right. Okay, next shout out is Mohammed Elamam, who was on the last episode of MD Globe Muscle, from Russia, originally from Egypt. It's the post. I posted this. This is Ron Harris's picture I posted on the MD Globe Muscle Instagram. Yeah, look. And I just bumped up the contrast.
He's really tall.
Who?
He's really tall.
He's 5'7". He's not tall.
He looks really tall here.
Well, Nick's obviously crouching down, so look at the size of Nick Walker there. He's a freak, isn't he? Look at that. I tell you what. Right, now, I won't play the private messages, but after the prejudging Mohammed, I said, mate, what is going on with your tan? Get some more tan on. And he sent me a voice note back saying that he'd been okayed with his tan and his glaze. And I said, no. I said, because I knew that the tan wasn't right because his quads were very separated and dry, but his upper body and everything else looked washed out and like soft, not like, it wasn't really highlighting the condition. So I said to him, that's to do with your tan and your glaze, because his tan at the Indy Pro was absolutely perfect. So, so basically, he hasn't updated it much. Yeah, so basically after the prejudging, see, look, there we are. Look, there's his tan there. It looks fantastic. That looks, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a bit blurry. Yeah, so his tan there, I mean, he was pushing Justin Rodriguez, you know. So, so what happened was, he doesn't need more ham drop there, doesn't he, compared to Justin? Yeah. So anyway, he was messaging back and forth yesterday on the day of the New York Pro, and he was saying, I said, look, you need to insist that they give you more glaze and tan. So, so he went, anyway, came back at the night show and he looked so much better, didn't he? He looked a lot better, didn't he? Complete, I looked at the live stream. It was like night and day difference. And that was because of his tan and his glaze. So, and also I looked at the judging sheets, and at the pre-judging, Dorian Hayward was ahead of him. Oh, sorry. Was placed ahead of him. And then at the night show, Mohammed, because of the points, Mohammed was placed ahead of Dorian, but I think Dorian had just enough points to squeeze past him. So if his tan had been better at the prejudging, it probably would have been a lot closer for the fourth place. So because he was fifth place at the New York Pro yesterday. So really that bad tan at the judging, did that cost him a placing? I think there's a good argument for it. I think it cost him a placing. So, but that's the problem when you're at the mercy of these backstage tanners, unfortunately. And they okay you and say you're fine. It's happened to me, My last show, I did a classic show in 2013, and Zach Khan came up to me afterwards after the judging. He says, Giles, you've got no glaze on. And I was like, what do you mean? He says, get some glaze on. So I went to the back, and backstage, I said, how do I look? And they went, yep, you're good to go. Go walk on stage. So I went on stage with no glaze, basically, or not enough. So it's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of different people. So always check your tan. And if you're not happy with it, go back and insist that they top you up. I don't care how busy they are, because if you're paying for that, you know, tan, glaze and stuff like that, it can affect your placings. So, you know, if you're paying for it, fucking tell them. Crispy cream. Yeah, it does. It just gives you a washed out look, and it doesn't highlight. I mean, look at his condition there. That's the night show. And he looks absolutely fantastic there, but he did not look like that at the prejudging. So there you go. This is the morning of the show. So we like Mohammed. He's cool. Yeah. So Mohammed is now going to the Cali Pro. 12 hours out of the New York Pro. Yeah. So you can't really tell. He was by himself as well. So I kind of felt for the guy, you know. So, there he is with Dennis James. God, Dennis James looks good, doesn't he? He's only a few years off 60.
Wow.
It's crazy, isn't it? And he's trying to like bring his body weight down. And the thing is, like, he was huge, but it doesn't look massive there. But like, if you stood next to him, you'd realize how big he still is. And he said he only eats 3-4 meals a day. Probably runs a little bit of TRT or something. But yeah, bodybuilding, anti-aging. Look, see, come on, nearly 60. Well, he's not nearly 60. He's a good few years off, but you know, I'm a few years off 50, but well, 6. Right, okay, this is the classic guy. He was 5th place. This is Brandon Kidd, classic guy. He's, yeah, I was impressed. There's not much on his Instagram, unfortunately. But, yeah, I really like this guy's shape. That's not the best picture, to be honest. And I mean, obviously, this is the day after the New York Pro, so we haven't had a chance to really update. You know, they don't really have a chance, because they're usually traveling home, so they don't have a chance to update their Instagram. So we're just, let's go back a little bit, see if there's any more physique pictures. So, it's just all training stuff. Yep. Can you eat some crisps there? Or? Can you hear the rustling in the background? Stop it. Right. Okay. Well, that's obviously a good few weeks out there. So he likes to post training stuff. So I think maybe we'll have to get him on the show, because I really liked his physique. I thought he had a lovely structure. I think his posing was really good as well. Look at his back. Wow. That's cool. Look at those striations there. Christmas tree. Yeah, nice physique. Very complete, very well balanced. Kind of what really the classic class is meant for, really. But, still going. Yeah, straighted lats. Oh, it's such a good... When you get a photo from the back taken and you've got straighted lats, that's a good feeling. I've had that. My first show, I had a Christmas tree. And straighted lats. And you pull your arms back and, you know... And you hear everyone screaming, you go, yay, Christmas tree. But, yeah, so there he is. I assume that's his partner, his lady. Pull off 5th place. Okay, no, I wanted to do better, but I'm satisfied with my showing until next time. So, yeah, lovely physique. Lovely physique. Cool green hair. Oh, there's some more pictures there. Let's have a look. Okay, here he is with some friends. I don't recognize these guys. I wonder where he's from. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you've got to see him under the lights and all the, you know, to really get a feel for this guy's shape. But, yeah, so well done, Brandon. Top 5 at the New York Pro. So he was 10th at the 2018 Tampa. He was 4th at the 2019 Chicago Pro. And he was 2nd at the Lender Murray Classic in 2019. So he's moving up now. So, you know, so give this guy a follow. He's only got 2,000 followers. So that's cool. Right, okay, our next shout out is... Elisa Kiesling, who won the women's physique in her pro debut at the New York Pro. We've followed this girl for ages and ages. I mean, this was the photo that impressed me. I'll probably put a comment there. I mean, look at the quads. Look at that. Wow. That's very, very impressive. Thin skin. Yep, the abs are in. When was this? 9 days out. So she looks stage ready there. But, so sponsors Innova Farm. Okay, so let's see some more pictures. That's a funny one. I want some carbs. Give me some carbs. Right, okay. See, they don't have a chance to update there. Okay, we'll go to this.
His legs remind me of diced oranges.
Diced oranges?
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before, Colin. Diced oranges. Your legs remind me of... Remember you said that guy looked like his back looked like a sat-nav?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, these are really poor, shitty photos. This is obviously like from a phone to the live stream. But, yeah, I thought she was a clear winner. Clear winner for me. And to do that in your pro debut, that is bloody impressive. Here we are. You look at the balance of the physique. Look at that. See, that's really kind of, that's perfect women's physique, that. I think the size, the conditioning, the balance, that is pretty much, that's top 5 Olympia. You know, I tell you who else did well in her pro debut last year was Rachel Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
And this girl's winning her pro debut, the New York Pro, same as Rachel. Yep. So who's better, Rachel or Elisa?
Oh, I'm supposed to ask.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I told him I was going to say this earlier on. So, what do you think? Who's better? Who's beating who?
Gonna cause fights.
Well, Rachel's 7th at Olympia. I think this girl's top 6 Olympia material. Look at that. I tell you what, I would really like to see them on stage together because they've both won the New York Pro in their pro debut. They're new faces, obviously. Because, sorry,
How tall is she?
I don't know. I mean, look at that. I like
Rachel's 5'5".
I like all this around here. That's good. I mean, she's got perfect. She does vacuums. That's a really nice physique. I tell you what, it'd be interesting. Good team up actually, because they're both very, very, very exceptional athletes. Elisa and Rachel. Look at that. That's a good shot. Look at that. Yeah. What is she there? 21. She's 3 weeks out there. Look at the condition in the quads. And for women to get condition in their quads like that is bloody hard. They've got to get the estrogen levels right and to get the water and all the fat off the legs, which most women usually, they hold in those areas, is very, 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 very tricky to get that legs that lean. And she's 3 weeks out there. So that is very, very impressive. Oh, she prepped by Yasin Nasir. Is he from France?
Yeah.
Oh,
Moon's old coach.
and Moon's old coach. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, jolly guy. Here we are. Look at the condition there. Hang on. Oh, when was this then? Is that when she's on prep, not for an actual show?
Yeah.
The way she just dropped her trousers outside in the car park. Whoops. Here we go. Nice. Wow. Yeah.
Some kids pointing to her mum. What's that?
Oh, 4 plates. Rachel Daniels. Frank's got 7 plates. Fight! Yeah. Oh, that's right, because she does the classic guy posing. She poses like the classic guys. That's why she calls herself the classical queen. So she's really trying to emulate like a female classic physique, which is kind of what women's physique is to the men's classic, to the for the bodybuilding. So I see what she's trying to do here. But yeah, she's been around for ages. I mean, I like that shot there. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Striations in the triceps. Too tired to caption. My God, she's worked hard for this. So, yeah, fantastic. Elisa, we're going to have to get her on Global, I think, or maybe get the girls to get her on Buff Bombshell, because she is, she's a very, very passionate athlete. And it's nice to see these new faces coming through. So huge congratulations there to the _classical queen, 53.7 thousand followers. How do you say that? Elisa Kiesling. I'm going to say it.
I'm going to let you butcher that name.
Elisa Kiesling from Florida.
Isn't that a cake brand?
It's funny because I put a post the other week and I said, I didn't know whether she was amateur or pro. And she says, oh no, Giles, I am pro. Because we gave her a shout out a couple of months ago. And she's sponsored by Gasp, or she's just wearing Gasp. God, I wish I was sponsored by Gasp. They're awesome. Oh, maybe she is. Maybe she got some freebies like I did. So fantastic pro debut, and she won it straight first. And in my eyes, she won it quite clearly as well. Right, okay, going to go next shout out. Dr.Fit.Dorian Hayward, 12.3 thousand followers. I'm really impressed with what Dorian's brought this year. I first saw Dorian in the flesh compete at the 2017 Tampa Pro, and I couldn't believe he was getting such bad call-outs and low placing. And he's really, really, really improved his physique in the last 4 years. As you can see here, look at that. I love his shoulders and his arms, that thickness there, And at the Indy, that was the best Dorian I'd seen to date. And I think he looked even better for the New York Pro as well. So, yeah, look at that. Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. I still think he needs more back thickness. Look at that. God, these are good pictures, these.
Any back pictures?
Yeah, will do, yeah. Yeah, his legs, he's so thick. He's so thick. I mean, the density to this guy's physique, look at that. Yeah, see, yeah, I feel like the front and the side doesn't quite match the back. I mean, I just feel like he needs more thickness in the lats because he's got huge traps. He's got incredible shoulders. Everything's dug out in the... what's this? Okay. Yeah, so let's have a look at these. He's not even updated his Instagram, has he? I think they just all... That's the first thing I do when I complete his update pictures. Let's have a look. See now what we're talking about. I didn't even have social media when I last competed. Talking shit. Yeah, there we are. So can we put the music on? Or... Oh no, let's take that off. Yeah. I think he's 4th place at New York Pro. He was he 3rd place at Indy? No, 4th place at Indy. A blessing beat him for 3rd. Yeah, I think he's really making strides this year. So I'm very, very happy to see improvements. Here we have some pictures from the Indy Pro. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's fucking monster, isn't he? Yeah, nice. Oh, can't really see. That's very dark. Very dark. Oh, these are just, yeah. Look at that. That's cool. Very, very good. Yeah, look at that. That's a good angle. You can see the 3-dimensional shoulders. I can't imagine what this guy's shoulder press is. Jesus. Yeah, there he is next to Blessing. These are very, very dark. Or is it just high contrast? Yeah. Yeah. No, he's done well. I hope he does Cali. I wonder if he'll see him with Olympia. I wonder if he'll make it. I wonder how many points he's on. So he's had a 3rd at Indy. No, 4th at Indy. And a 4th at the New York Pro. I'd imagine that, I don't know, I'm not sure on the points that would give him, but I'd like to see him at the Olympia this year. I'm sure he would love to see himself at the Olympia. But so it's Indy Pro, and then after that, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the show calendar. I'll have to check because I'd be interested to see. Maybe he's just one of these guys who's just going to keep going and until he actually gets to the Olympia, either on points or a win. But yeah, he's done fantastic. Look, I love that front hands clasp most muscular. That's so impressive. That's so big. So thick. So he's at Bev's gym one day here, more here than heading back to Denver. 3 weeks out for the Indy Pro. Yeah. So he really wanted to nail his conditioning this year. So yeah, fantastic. Yep. Come on, keep going, Dorian. Cool name as well. Yeah. Okay. So Dorian, Dr. Fit. Dorian Hayward. There you go. Give him a follow. Let's bump up his followers. Okay, going to go to the last shout out now for episode 18, season 4 of Indy Muscle. Walt Whitman photo. Love this guy's work. W_Whitman TTMANN photo. Fantastic photographer, this guy. And I tell you what, he uploads these not filtered or whatever, the post edited photos very, very fast. He must literally do them sat in the front row at the shows or in the press pit, because these pictures here last night, I mean, these were updated. These were up last night, well, certainly in the middle of the night or whatever. So he works on them quick, I like that speed, especially, really nicely post-edited pictures like this. Here he is obviously documenting the moment when Matt Jansen, Nick Walker's coach, obviously, they see each other because obviously they've gone through that prep, they've trained, they've gone through the whole thing together, the last couple of years. And he's very good at capturing those really kind of poignant emotional moments. Let's have a look at this. Oh, there's a few there. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's very dark. Yeah. Yeah, Nick Walker, man, looked absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's have a look at some colour ones. He likes his vignettes as well. I like a vignette. Oh, I love this picture. Look at that. Wow. Look at Mohammed Mustafa there. That was the best Mohammed Mustafa I've ever seen.
Tight waist.
Tight waist. Yeah, the waist was tight, wasn't it? It was. Apparently he stopped eating... was it all veg a few weeks out, and he said it made a difference because Chris Aceto, I said to him, you need to focus, because imagine just put your hand over his waistline and imagine him with like a Lee Priest type waistline. That is that's a pro. That's someone who's winning multiple pro shows. But I mean, look at the legs. My God. I mean, Flex Lewis, when he saw Muhammad competing at what show was it last year? Was it last year? New York Pro? Yeah. He said he drove home that night and he said the first thing he did next morning was train legs. And that's Flex Lewis, who's got some of the best legs ever. So, but he said he saw Muhammad's legs, he says, and he totally freaked out. So Muhammad's been training at the Dragon's Lair for the last few weeks. I wonder if he's going to move there permanently, because, you know, Sean Roden and Laura Lee have moved to Vegas. Yeah. They've moved from California and Vegas is about a 4-hour drive. But everyone seems to be migrating now from California to Vegas. Let's have a look at this Justin picture. Yeah, see, Justin, he definitely took a few pound off what he did at Indy, and I think it came from the muscle rather than gaining condition, because his condition last week at the Indy Pro I thought was perfect, and he kind of looks like it enhances the lines and the aesthetics of the physique, especially on that quad sweep there. It looks amazing. But for me, I personally preferred the look that Justin brought to the Indy. I thought the night show at the Indy, that was absolute perfection. That was peak to perfection. And it was a battle between him and Nick, but I did have Nick winning. But I don't know if Justin had brought that to the Indy look to this, would it have been a different story? I don't know. But there we are. Look at that. Look at that. Fucking hell. Wow. Do you know what I like about Nick? Look at those bumps. Look at his abs. They look like they've been stuck on, like they've been glued on. They're that chunky. And to see a physique that thick and dry and detailed with good abs like that, not shallow abs, because that can really ruin a physique, shallow abs, is so impressive. So, yeah, Nick Walker, what was he, 20... How old is Nick Walker now? He's in his 20s, isn't he? 28, 29? I mean, that is... okay, how to get off? There we are. Right, okay, let's have a look at some more pictures. Any preference? Keep scrolling. The Bumstead shot. Oh, you said Nick Walker. Okay. that. I mean, that's the Hulk, isn't it? Let's just paint him green. Seriously. I mean, that's the shot when I thought, oh, I saw this early in the week before the New York Pro, and that's when I realized that Nick had absolutely leveled up his physique. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's just... It was impressive last year. Sorry, we'll go to your picture now. The Chris Bumstead one, this one. Now, this was obviously backstage at the 2020 Olympia. Yeah, look at that. Has he torn his quad there?
I think so.
There's a tear, isn't there? That looks like there's like an indentation. I mean, it doesn't really detract from his physique in any way. I'm just looking at it now on the front cover as well. It's there, isn't it? See? It's like there. Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. Chris Bumstead was a clear winner at the Olympia last year, and what he did last year was absolutely phenomenal. Okay, there he is. There's Angela Borges. There she's winning Pittsburgh, beating Urishna. Let's have a look. I can't really tell much, does it? Yeah, she does, doesn't she? Yeah. Okay, the black and white ones, I don't know, it's just the angle of my laptop, but they don't really... Yeah, they don't really show up as well. That's a cool shot. Yeah, I like these kind of different sort of photo shoots. I think a lot of original photography is kind of lost in the industry now. We had like David Paul and Per Bernal and doing these outdoor shoots, and there's Walt there. There he is. That's him. That's the guy. Yeah, I've met him. We spoke at the Olympia a couple of years ago. Nice guy. Fantastic photographer. Very passionate about his craft. But I'm saying, you know, you get a lot of stage photographers, you get a lot of gym photographers, but the people who do like the outside shoots like this one there, you know, and stuff like this with athletes signing contracts and... Oh, come on. Here we are. This is Sean Clarida signing with a new sponsor. I'm taking it. Should we put the sound on? Can we put the sound on that one? I can't hear. Can we hear anything? Is it? Can you play it? Is that okay to play or? Oh, bloody YouTube. Wow, you got to love Sean Clarida. Do you think anyone is going to beat Sean Clarida this year at the Olympia? Be honest. And you hold with my theory that if a physique is basically for every inch, it's 10 pounds of muscle. Like every inch, if you get someone similar size at 5'5", similar level of muscle density at 5'10", it usually works out 10 pounds an inch. So with that theory, if you've got Sean Clarida who's 5'1", 177 pounds, and you've got Ronnie Coleman that was 5'11", so that's 10 inches taller, that's 100 pounds more, which is 277. Do you see why we call him the mini Ronnie Coleman?
Yeah.
I don't think you're convinced. I don't think you listened to a word I said there, did you?
No, you came funny.
Yeah, I knew it. I could tell. Too busy watching Sean Clarida doing dumbbell rows. Right, okay. It's Jay Mannion. Had him on the Buff Bombshell show the other week.
Oh, he's there just robbing one hammer for
Yeah, I bet he took one in his bag. I would. I'll be honest. So Walt Whitman, fantastic photographer. He's really starting. He's really getting about now. He's really growing and building a very good reputation as one of the industry's best photographers there. So it's always nice to go to his account because he's always at the. He uploads the pictures very fast. So cool dude, great photographer, great work. Oh, I like that shot there. Look at that. Holy shit. Whoa. Where is he there? About a week out? TikTok. I like that. Nick Walker, let's go. 17 likes. Mate, this is a stunning shot. Where else? Oh, bloody thing's popping up. Yeah, so, fantastic. Looking forward to seeing more of his photography at the big shows. This shot was one of the ones that really, you could see how much. He reminds me a little bit of Lee Priest, actually, around the arms. He's got that freakiness and the freaky muscle bellies in the arms. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like maybe a slightly thicker Lee Priest with not quite as good a shape, because Lee Priest had an absolutely incredible shape. So I like this this kind of behind the scenes type photography, the good stage photography, the outside stuff. I think it's really important. So give him a follow. Right, okay, guys, that is the end of season 4, episode 18 of MD Global Muscle. I hope you enjoyed this New York Pro. It's not a preview, is it? It's a review. I'll get this to you wrong. Okay, guys, we'll be back next week. And, of course, we're only 2 episodes away from episode 100. Yeah. Come on, give me a yay. Give me a yay. Yay. Okay, right. Okay, Colin. Right, okay then. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And, guys, we are out.